And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet, so I'm glad you're here. Hey, I know I'm late, but it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Black man told me to take a nap and don't get up until 8:05, but it's all good because I'm right here with y'all, and I'm glad you're here. If you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, this is going to be right on time, so I'm glad you took the time to go to your Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. to download the episode. And if you don't know, this will be available at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, as always. Well, we got a whole lot going on. Larry Elder trying to become the governor of California through the recall election. I think he has a very good chance of doing so. Leads the pack right now. That's going to be a lot going on. They're trying to throw everything they can. And I'm talking about he didn't put out a gun on the ex-girlfriend. And they also called him what they say? He is the black face of white supremacy. What's going on? What else we got going on? Oh, have you noticed that Joe Biden is becoming orange? They talked about the previous president, talked about our guy, our friend, Donald Trump. Oh, orange man bad. Well, how about this orange man? Is he good? The Biden supporters are really, really quiet, having a hard time spending what's going on. Shout out to the Jason's Deli out there in Florida who destroyed the minimum wage argument. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I appreciate y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere in the world. Somebody said, how can you nap at a time like this? I always nap right before the show. I always nap like an hour or so before, like a little power nap. 15 minutes and I'm good to go. Because I'm up pretty much, I got up about 6 a.m. I'm up. And then I'm not going to sleep until like 12:31. So I'm up. And I don't do any kind of coffee or anything like that. The most you see me do is have some tea. And that's actual tea with the bag and the hot water. I don't do coffee or any kind of vice like that. So I'm up. But give me a quick little power nap just right before the show. And I'm good to go. So is the Kabul airport closed, really? Because I was seeing that the airport is just a madhouse. I'm talking about people. And the crazy thing about Kabul airport, you have Joe Biden saying one thing. Oh, no, we'll get everybody out. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But then you got the State Department talking about, nah, don't go to the airport because it's dangerous. And really, you don't need the State Department to tell you that it's dangerous. You could just look at the situation and see how dangerous it is. And it got checkpoints. Boy, when I say they, I mean the Taliban. They got checkpoints everywhere. So, yeah, it's obviously dangerous. It's not fit for a person to really be trying to travel in that situation. So, it's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. But, yeah, that whole thing, people say, oh, well, we should have gotten out a long time ago. We shouldn't have been there. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. First of all, we are there. So, like I said before, we're there, so there's a proper way to exit and an improper way to exit. Don't just leave the country in the middle of the night, abandon American citizens, thousands of Americans, just abandon them. You look people in the eye and you promise them, hey, okay, if you help us in the war, in your country, like we're coming to invade your country, right, to kill people that are not you. We're not trying to kill civilians. That's not our goal. If civilians die, then oops. But we're not trying to kill civilians. We're trying to kill the terrorists, right? So check it out. We invade your country, destroy large parts of your economy, trying to kill terrorists, trying to keep Osama bin Laden and these guys at pay. Although bin Laden's been dead since 2011, but that's a different story. Anyway, all right, we're here in your country. Help us, please, interpret what's going on. And they say, all right, cool, but check it out. If I help you this way, you got to make sure you're going to look out for me at the end of it, because if you leave here, now I'm basically a sitting duck for the Taliban to come get because I was helping y'all. All right, no problem. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. And rather than following through on that word that we gave them, we just bounced. Didn't even tell anybody. It was like, oh, we're out. That's not how you do things. You got to do things right, because if you want to have anybody else trust you in the future, if you want to have anybody else's help for whatever the reason may be, people are going to say, well, you didn't help the people in Afghanistan when you said you were going to help them. So why would I think you're going to help me? Why trust you? And I was watching the video about China, and China may be taking this and using it for their purposes. What China likes to do a lot is push propaganda. But, I mean, we pretty much have gift wrapped a big pile of propaganda and gave it to them. See, look at the Americans. They tell you one thing and do something else and say they're going to protect you, but they don't. They leave the country open to foreign invaders. They leave the country open to invaders. After they invade, they kill your economy. So the people out there in Hong Kong, you got your American flags, all this and that. Why do that when they're not going to help you? They don't have your back. And the same thing with Taiwan, although Taiwan is a whole different ball of wax. You want to invade Taiwan. Now we're dealing with South China Sea. We're dealing with a whole different thing here. That could spark World War III, potentially, if you try to invade Taiwan, which would just be a reason to try and assert further dominance in South China Sea. Put it to you like this. We got aircraft carriers. We got destroyers going through that way, like right now from the U.S. So if they want to try to invade Taiwan and assert dominance over that region, that'd be a problem. But they'll say, hey, you know what, Taiwan, the U.S. won't come to help you. They won't do anything because look at what happened in Afghanistan. They left those people high and dry. You get babies being killed in the street, women getting shot in the head for not wearing a hijab. It's their fault. This was the dumbest thing in the world. That's why it's like bipartisan, because there are certain things you can do that are bad, right? You can also do good, but it may not be that bad or that good to really acknowledge in a serious way that will cause you to break ranks, if that makes any sense. So if Trump does a thing that's good while he's in office, it may not be that good for the left to jump out the window and say, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up. Why do that? Their whole thing has been get Trump out, get Trump out. There's no need to break away from that, from just doing his regular everyday tasks, right? There's no purpose in doing that. If he does something that's really, really, really bad, then they're going to take it up a notch more than what they already do. The whole January 6th thing, that's not really real. If January 6th was so bad, they wouldn't have went right back to the same building 3 hours later and kept working. Like they would have paused everything for months, but that's not what they did. They started right back working within 3 hours. And also, speaking about January 6th, there was a FBI. What was it? I don't know if it was the FBI probe or an independent investigation that said there was no planning behind January 6th. At least not from the normies. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that particular news clip to see exactly who said that. Now, and I said that like that for a specific reason. It wasn't the normies that planned it. It may have been another group that are not just you and I or a militia or the Proud Boys or something like that. You're talking about the federales, perhaps. Anything that happens related to this kind of stuff, I suspect the federales are involved. I heard a story, and I'm not sure if it's 100% true or false, but the guy at the end of the story, I believe, is in not the penitentiary, but in some kind of detention facility. He might be in jail or whatever. So Ilhan Omar, we all suspect that she married her brother, right? Not because she's just incestuous Muslim. That's not even really it. I mean, somebody could say that, but that's not necessarily the case. What's happening is that it's immigration fraud. You get married to somebody for a green card, citizenship, whatever the case may be. That's called immigration fraud. That does happen. So she was allegedly married to her brother legally. She has an actual husband, or she had an actual husband before she got divorced, but they were not married legally. They were married in the Islamic tradition. Now, this guy, she actually has kids with, she lived with for 20, 30 years or whatever the case may be. Ilhan Omar is like in her late 30s, but she's Somali, so they got married and all that pretty early. But anyway, she got divorced from that dude and then married Tim Minette, which is a whole different story. And I'll leave that right there. But the brother, this guy's name is the same or similar to a name of her family. That's not necessarily her name. Omar, I think that's her last name, but there's another part of her family, her brothers and sisters, they have a different last name that came from Somalia and refugee camps. Some of the family went to UK and some of the family went to the US. The brother and that part of the family went to the UK. So she was trying to get him from UK to the US. Anyway, long story short, some private investigators, some private eyes, did a little bit of digging to figure out, is this your brother or not? So what they allegedly did was found a cigarette, because Ilhan Omar smoked cigarettes. Are cigarettes haram? You guys in the audience, please let me know if I'm right or wrong. Can you smoke cigarettes with your hijab on? Is that a flame risk? Anyway, apparently they were able to get a cigarette butt and a drink cup, and they took DNA from that and they matched it to that of her brother. Not sure how they got his DNA. Don't ask me, but they were able to match it, and then they could identify that they were siblings. So they solved the riddle or the rumor of whether Ilhan Omar got married to her own brother or not. Now, the guy had the information and was getting ready to present it, but then here come the federales. And they arrest him, I guess, for doing that. I'm not exactly sure what the charge is, but he is in jail or had been in some kind of detention facility. Not sure if he's still locked up, but he did get locked up for doing that. And somebody said, what's haram? Haram means forbidden in Islam. So there's certain things you can't do, certain little rules you can't break in Islam, and it's called haram, meaning in the word haram means forbidden. But anyway, so the guy's locked up. The federales came and got him. Now, why they lock him up? Is it illegal to be a private investigator? Because that's when you got divorces and things like that. That's common to have private eyes on the case to see what's going on. I mean, I didn't see Cheaters. Isn't that what a private eye is? You got a whole TV show based around private eyes. So why is it all of a sudden now illegal to do that? Is it because she is Ilhan Omar and in Congress and she is a level above just regular normies? Again, going back to this whole thing about equality, the left, the squad, the real estate squad, the hypocrite squad, the incest squad, whatever you want to call them. They talk about, oh, we want to have equal rights, equal this, equal that. But what they mean is they want for you and I to be equal to each other, meaning equally poor, equally suffering, equally oppressed, meaning not having rights, while they live the best life. You stay in this rent control, rat infested shack on the wrong side of the tracks, while I stay in the ivory tower in the sky and I look down upon y'all. Have you ever seen that meme? What's that, Hunger Games? I don't watch all these shows, but it's a meme with all these guys in the white ruffles, dressed up, looking down on the peasantry from the balcony. That's how they feel about us, meaning the political elite. They feel about us. So yeah, a long way to say that I believe the FBI were probably involved with January 6th more than what we know. And the same thing with Gretchen Whitmer. Remember the whole thing about Gretchen Whitmer? There was a quote unquote kidnap plot against her. Come to find out that the majority of the guys, like 80% of the guys that were involved with that are feds, meaning directly FBI agents working with a badge and everything, undercover brother, or an informant. Same thing with Proud Boys. Again, Enrique Tarrio, a leader, a fed. This same story replays over and over and over and over again, to the point where when I say things like this, oh, it's a terror plot. Oh, It was, some kind of same thing with the guy that had the bomb allegedly at the Capitol recently. Instantly, I thought that's a Fed right away. And I've not heard a word about that since. You would think that'd be a pretty big story, right? A guy in some random truck right at the Capitol talking about, I got a bomb and I have more bombs around the area. That'd be a big story. But it barely made a ripple when it happened because people didn't believe it right away. See, I think the media have long lost the confidence of the people. Why should I believe anything you say when you've been proven to be a liar over and over again? When you hiding this man, you put a dead man in office by the name of Joe Biden. This man is a husk. Have you ever seen a cicada shell? Them real ugly looking, spider looking things. It's a husk. The cicada is not there. It's their skin that they shed like a snake. You see a snake skin with no snake. Joe Biden is pretty much an animated snake skin, just walking around, barely able to walk around, but walking around. They put that guy in there, and they want to tell me that I got to believe everything he says. I mean, come on. He doesn't even know what he's saying. Why should I believe him? If you can't articulate yourself properly, if you can't talk for more than 10 minutes without blanking out, why should I believe you? I know that you don't know what's happening. If you go to an elderly home, a nursing home or whatever, a senior community, you may expect that people in there may not be able to hold a conversation for a long time because they're elderly. They have, at a certain point, your mind may not be as sharp as it once was. That's Joe Biden right now. It's really sad. He shouldn't be in the White House. He should be getting some treatment somewhere. But hey, Democrats don't care. They put that dead man out there because they want to maintain power. And the craziest thing that I see are people that are trying to criticize Trump on the right. Oh, Trump did this, Trump did that. It's like, why even do that? Why? Even though Trump may not be perfect, which nobody's perfect, unless you're going to find Jesus Christ, you're not going to find perfection. That's just the reality. And nobody's Jesus, so we're all imperfect. But my question would be, what's the purpose of pointing out imperfection in Trump when, number one, he's not even in office right now, and number two, they put a dead man in office and it's okay. Kamala Harris looking like a deer in the headlights, don't know what's going on. They're not even running the country anymore. It's like having a teacher and they don't show up for class. You keep getting subs all the time. You keep getting random people to come in there and teach a class. That's what's happening right now to the U.S. The teacher's not there. The principal is gone. It's just the janitor, teacher's assistants, substitute teachers running the show right now. But it just goes to show that sometimes you don't need these people, these figureheads. I think Trump was a flawed but a great leader who actually led. Biden is just there. Biden's a figurehead. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Installed. Kamala Harris had no support during the presidential campaign. When she ran for, people forget, she ran for president and had zero traction. And I saw her being placed in the limelight. Same thing with Cory Booker. They were really trying to make Kamala Harris and Cory Booker be the next people up. Anytime there would be a Senate hearing about some random thing, okay, we're going to ban hay from China to feed the horses under 3 years old. Okay, we're going to have Kamala Harris go out there and speak on TV, on ABC, on primetime. Why? Why do I care about horse hay? What does it make a difference? Why do I care about fertilizer being used in soy pond farms? Who cares? But they would have her out there talking because they want you to get to know her, become familiar, get to like her. Didn't work, but they still put her in there anyway. That shows you how much you care about us. But I digress. And thank y'all again. Definitely appreciate y'all for being here. Couldn't do it without you. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about Larry Elder right fast. So Larry Elder, like I said, is leading the polls to become the next governor of California in the recall election. And the way the recall works is there's two questions on the ballot. There's two questions. And the recall is September the 14th. That's a Tuesday in California. So if you're out there in California, please vote in the recall. Please vote. But on the ballot, there's two questions. Just two questions. The first one is, should Gavin Newsom, the current governor, who's been a disaster, Nancy Pelosi's nephew, by the way, if you didn't know that, should Gavin Newsom be recalled? You can answer yes or no. Now, if you don't like Gavin Newsom, you don't like what he's done, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Independent, Republican, politically unaffiliated, it's irrelevant. You can vote yes to get him removed. If you like Gavin Newsom, you want to stay in office, you think he's doing a great job, the taxes are fine, the traffic is fine, all the illegal aliens and the crime, the drug use, the cocaine, heroin, crack, meth on the streets is totally fine, you can vote no, and he remains in office. And if I got that right, y'all let me know in the comments below. That's the first thing you do. Vote yes, get him out, no, let him stay. Then question number 2 is, who should replace him? And you can select from a cornucopia of names. There's all kind of guys and girls and whatnot on the ballot. You have Republicans, Democrats, Libertarian, Independent, no party, whoever you want. But the leading person, according to the polls, is Larry Elder, who we all know and love. World famous talk show host, well, radio host, pardon me. Stomp down conservative, black conservative. That does matter because he got accused of being a black face of white supremacy. I'll get to that in a moment. But Larry Elder is leading. There's a bunch of other guys on the list, like Caitlyn Jenner. Not sure if they're really serious because Big Bruce is in Australia filming an episode of Big Brother, or the whole series, the reality show called Big Brother. So you're trying to become the governor, but you're filming reality shows. You got one foot in, one foot out. What are you doing? They have no chance. Bruce Jenner, in my opinion. You have Meet Kevin. It's a lot of guys that are trying to run. But I think that the hatred or the contempt for Gavin Newsom is bipartisan. Nobody likes this guy. It doesn't matter if you are left or right. Now, as far as the second question, who should replace him? You don't have to get the majority of the vote. You have to get the most votes. So Larry Elder could win with, like, just throwing it out there, if he had 20% of the vote, he could still win that way. If he has more votes than the next highest guy, it doesn't matter the percentage or how it's broken down. You win if you get the most votes. And I think that there's enough of a groundswell against Gavin that's bipartisan to get the first question, the first hurdle cleared. Then the next one just be enthusiasm from the right coming together and voting for Larry Elder, and that'll get him in. So I think he has a pretty good chance. But people don't like Larry Elder all the way. We like Larry Elder for the most part. If you're conservative and you've been keeping your ear to the proverbial streets, you like Larry Elder for the most part. I don't see why anybody that's conservative would not like Larry Elder. I think he said something about the election, talking about, yeah, Biden won. People kind of get upset about that, but it's like, what are you going to do? Because at the end of the day, Biden's in there, so we can't ignore that fact, but different story, I digress. But there was a hit piece on LA Times talking about Larry Elder is the black face of white supremacy. Now, this came from two black women. There was one black woman that gave LA Times that specific line, blackface of white supremacy. Then there was another black woman who wrote an article on LA Times about that particular hit piece and pretty much backed it up. And the article was kind of trash. If you guys saw my video earlier, I linked to the article in the box. The article, I read the whole article. It was pretty trash. That could have just been a couple of tweets, really. You know, if I'm reading the article and it's a really big, salacious headline and it's from a pretty big paper, I want a little bit more substance. Give me some evidence. It's like, all right, you got this crazy opinion, right? That he's a black face of white supremacy. Okay, try backing it up. All they really said was that he's like the black Trump, and he has policies that the majority of black folks don't like. Well, my thing is, the policies that Californians have been trying has not worked, obviously. California, not just black Californians, but Californians. As I said before, when I got married and the guy or driver took us back home from the hotel, the driver was saying that every other weekend he's going to the airport and he's picking up Californians. They're coming by the jumbo jet load to Tennessee, to Texas, to Nevada. You guys know Nevada, Colorado, all these crackheads going to Denver. Oh, you can smoke weed. You can smoke meth too, can't you? But anyway, I digress. They're going to Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Tennessee, maybe even as far as Florida. And it's a rapid thing. It's not just blacks, whites, Hispanics, it's everybody. Because California is just becoming ridiculous. Too expensive, too much crime going on, too many drugs floating around. It's become a mess. So obviously, whatever they're doing in California is not really working very well. The black population in California has dropped dramatically. They're leaving. I mean, LA is rough. They have a very high minimum wage over there already, 15 an hour, but it's not made a difference because all that happens is when you raise the minimum wage, everything goes up in price to pay for the minimum wage. Then you got the very high taxes and all the regulations and rules. And now they're trying to say that there's going to be a vaccine passport, but it won't be a vaccine passport. It was an article that said Gavin Newsom supports some kind of vaccine security measure, but it won't be a passport. Sounds like a passport to me. So the policies in California are not working for anybody. But the person was saying, since he's against what a lot of black LA people want, or in California, then he's the black face of white supremacy. Matter of fact, let's put it on the screen right quick. So yeah, here we go. Let's get that right there. LA Times in this weird format. But there it is. It says, column, Larry Elder is a black face of white supremacy. You've been warned. And this article was nothing. Oh, they also said, aside from he's a black Trump and his policies aren't very good, he makes an effort to go against what black folks want. I mean, the funniest part was when they were talking about he's against the mandates for vaccines and masks. But when you look around the country, it's mostly black folks who are vaccine hesitant. Black folks are the most vaccine hesitant, according to the numbers. Okay, so if Larry Elder is against vaccine mandates and vaccine passports, isn't that in line with most black Americans? What they say in New York, only 25% of black adults aged 18 to 44 have the vaccine. 25%. They're trying to make it be a red versus blue thing, saying, oh, mostly the white Trump supporters, they don't want to get it. They don't believe in science. Is it that, or is it that people have their own reasons why they don't want to get it? Is it even a political reason? Maybe not. Maybe putting a shot in my body, it's not even about who do I vote for, who do I support politically. Maybe it's about my body. I don't care who's in office. I don't care who says, hey, ABL, put this shot in your body. I'm going to think about it. I don't care if it's Trump that says it. I don't care if it's Biden that says it. It'd be the same thought process in my mind. I'm going to think about it. Hey, ABL, let's just pause. It's my brain talking to my other side of my brain. Left and right communicating. Hey, should we do this? This is a brand new shot. They don't know what's going on. Does it even work? I don't know. How about I don't take it? Because I feel like it's the same kind of rhetoric behind the flu shot, right? Every other year before this new virus came along and I guess killed the flu off, every other year there's this big scare campaign about the flu shot. Oh, you got to get the flu shot. If you don't, you could go to the hospital. You don't want to overwhelm the hospital, all this, that, and the third. I've never had a flu shot in my life, ever. Unless I got it when I was a little kid, as far as your childhood vaccines. But I've never gone to the CVS and said, you know what, I'm gonna get a flu shot. Never, ever. I've been sick before, but I survived. I'm still here. I'm doing just fine. So I didn't really see the need to go get that the same way. This is the same to me. But maybe it's not political. Maybe it's just a matter of personal choice. My body, my choice, right? It's funny how that particular thing is politicized when it comes to killing the baby. You can kill a baby and that's fine. It's your body, even though the baby's not your body. But when it comes to, shooting that vaccine up, all of a sudden, that's different. But people have to expect this kind of behavior from the old school media, from a lot of black liberals, white liberals, etc., to throw dirt on your name, trying to slander you. Then they said that he pulled a gun on a white woman back in the day. Just random stuff. Larry Elder is almost 70. He'll be 70 in March of next year. 69 years old. Have you ever heard about Larry Elder doing anything like that? Pulling a gun on somebody? Have you ever heard that? And he's been in LA for a long time. On the front lines, being a black conservative. And they're trying to find any kind of dirt they can on you. They're trying to find any speck of dirt. They're going to put it out there. If Larry Elder had an F on his report card when he was 8 years old, that'd be brought up. So do you believe the whole thing about, he pulled a gun on somebody, brandished a gun? They're trying to call him a monster off the air. I met Larry Elder once in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. I forget where it was. But the nicest guy, like an uncle type vibe, or your dad, granddad, type of vibe. Really like an uncle. Like an uncle that's like not too far from you in age. Real cool, shaking hands. Just a really nice guy. So if he's a monster off of the radio, I can't tell. I've never heard that. You guys never heard that up until right now. Same thing with Donald Trump. They try and talk about all these women coming out saying that he harassed them and all this and that. I never heard that when he was just Trump being a billionaire playboy. Same thing with the racism. Oh, Trump's a racist. Since when? I've never heard that in my life. All I heard was how all the black entertainers wanted to be just like Trump. They idolized Trump. Trump was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Trump was in movies. He was like an icon in the hip hop community and the rap world. And even just in kind of like black society, hanging out with Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali. But when he became the Republican nominee and then the president, all of a sudden now, racist, sexist. He's 70-something years old. Now, you want to tell me that? But I never heard it before. Now, as far as Bill Cosby, I've been hearing about Bill Cosby. That ain't nothing new. When Bill Cosby got arrested and locked up, I was like, oh, they finally got him. I've been on that. The whole thing about Hannibal Buress and that joke talking about Bill Cosby and the pills, that's old news. That's why he knew that, because everybody knew it. It was an open secret. But that was never a thing that was subscribed to Larry Elder, Donald Trump, or anybody like that. So it is what it is. Yep, Bobby Brown video, he was in that. Yeah, Trump, he was the guy. A cultural icon. In Home Alone, Fresh Prince, it was him. And then it was funny in Fresh Prince where he was like, oh, I'm always to blame for everything. It's the same kind of thing going on now. But I digress. What else we got going on? There's quite a few things I want to discuss before we keep on rocking and rolling. Let's see. The minimum wage argument from Jason's Deli. Have you guys seen that? Now, Jason's Deli got into some hot water because they put up a well, it was one location. It wasn't just like the whole store. It wasn't a corporate decision. I think it was just one store that did this on their own. I don't think it was anything funny from the corporate. But what they said here was right on point. I'll pull it up right quick and put it on the screen. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. There we go. This right here is hilarious if you can see it. Now, I said it for a long time. The minimum wage, people can't just say I'm entitled to more money because I feel like I got a living wage that I need to match. Give me X amount of money. That's not how it works. It doesn't even make any sense because people don't understand the way that wages work. The people that want to push for this, I feel like, have never worked low wage jobs because they would know that even if you get $15 an hour, why does it matter if they cut your hours? I used to make $400 every 2 weeks, $800 a month, getting paid $8 an hour. Back when I was like 20, 21, something like that. This might have been like 06, 07, I guess. Yeah, I made right around that much back then. But I'm young. I'm living at home with mom. I'm going to college, paying her rent, paying for my car. That's all I really needed. Had my car, rent, a little bit of going on dates money and all this and that, hanging out. That's all I needed. And I had my little side gigs on the side. My pay was $8 an hour. $800 every month. But that was on like 38 hours a week. So if my hours got cut in half to what, like 18, 19, something like that, then I would get paid half of the money. If they gave me $15 an hour, but gave me the cut in half hours, I'm still getting paid the same amount of money at the end of the day. So I didn't even really get a rate. I made a lateral move. And I probably got to do more work in a shorter period of time. That people don't think that way. All they think is X amount of dollars per hour, but they don't think about the actual money, nor do they understand what it takes to make a wage. You can't just create a wage from nowhere. But anyway, this list right here was hilarious. So if you can't see it, if you're just listening on audio only, it's some kind of like easel that's, you might go to a restaurant and it has the day specials written in chalk outside. This is on something like that, on the easel, on a chalkboard. It's like green and yellow chalk. It says, now hiring all positions. And then it says minimum wage equals mediocre person. People got offended by that. Oh, I'm not mediocre. Well, if you are 16 years old trying to get your first job, you're not necessarily mediocre. You're just inexperienced. You're trying to get experience, trying to do the right thing, trying to work, trying to get your first job, get your foot in the door, gain some experience. However, if you're 35 years old and your day consists of Cheeto dust and PlayStation and nothing else, and you're talking about I deserve $15 an hour, why? What are your skills? What can you do? What are your credentials? What's your experience? Your experience is getting your beard soaked in Cheeto dust. That's your experience. So yes, if that's you, then you are a mediocre person. And it's fine because everyone can't be beyond mediocre. But I think everyone should strive to be beyond mediocre. And striving to be beyond mediocre is not trying to force someone to give you a certain amount of money because you feel like you're supposed to get it. That's not being beyond mediocre. But they have the job descriptions next to the hourly wage from 9 to 15. So $9 an hour, that's your first job, willing to learn. That's fair, right? It's entry level. Your first job, trying to get your foot in the door, or you might be kind of humble, down on hard times. Okay, cool. I'll take this job, then I'll build from there, right? 10 an hour, you have some experience and you're efficient. Okay, cool. You're getting a little bit better. 11 an hour, you're reliable, multitasker. Now you're getting more and more skills. You can't just be, oh, well, here's my first job. I want to get paid more money. Just give me the cash. That's not how it works. 12 an hour, better than most, brings zero drama, works like two people. That's right on point because back when I was working these low wage jobs, That was a problem. Like you would see all kind of drama going on, people having kids. It was plenty of guys that lived in their cars that would be begging the boss on Thursday for their paycheck. Like just too much drama. The main thing, maybe mama coming to the job, cussing and fussing, carrying on, fighting. We can't have that kind of stuff at the workplace. We're trying to be professional, get everything done. We don't have time for your personal issues. And if you work very hard, you can give me the same level of productivity as two people working the lower wage. You have brought a skill or resource to the table that would prompt you to get paid more if I'm able to do so. I paid you $12 because I can get more from you. Simple. 13 an hour. Okay, now you're going on up. You could be managerial supervisor or something like that. You're headed toward the top right there. 14 an hour. You're never late. Unlike me today. It's all right though. Cares like the owner does. Bring positivity to the environment. Now, how often do I hear people say, well, hey man, this ain't my business. I don't care about that. People in here stealing and destroying stuff. I don't care about this. It ain't my stuff. Well, if you do care like it is yours, if you do put effort into it, then you might be able to get paid more money. If you genuinely care and work like it and act like it, you might be able to get paid more. Who knows? 15 an hour outshines and outperforms the owner, does all the above. It's simple. It's all about what can you bring to the table? Can you produce something for me? That's it. That's all you could do. So it makes sense. People get mad at that because they feel like they should get the 15 an hour just because, hey, I'm here. Hear me roar. Give me the money. That's not how it works. People like that have the entitlement mentality. If they're able to pass these kind of things through the federal government, and it becomes law, what'll end up happening is that some places are going to just close because they can't afford it. You might be the best person in your mind. When you were 5 years old, your mom said you were handsome. Whatever the case may be, you think you're worth that kind of money, but you're not. You get the federales to force it, and they can't afford it, so they close. So rather than getting paid 10 an hour, you get paid $0 an hour from that particular job. So here comes Walmart, Target, Amazon, the big bank bros. They got the money to be able to pay a high minimum wage, which is why they'll raise their wage to 15 an hour, but then they'll lobby the federales to make it be a law nationwide. Why do that? If you raise your own wage to 15 an hour, why would you lobby to make it be a law? You're doing your job. Don't worry about anybody else in their business. Let them do that. But see, the reason why they want to have the federales come involved and have the wage increase 15 an hour is because they know that a lot of the small mom and pop shops they want to compete with or destroy can't pay it. So when they fall away, when they close up, when they fold, because they can't afford that kind of money to pay their employees, Walmart will be there to pick up the slack. They'll have increased foot traffic. They'll have more sales, so they'll be able to justify the higher wage. They'll be able to take a hit of $1 billion in losses to make more money in the end after they successfully lobby the federal government to increase the minimum wage. That's the game. Same thing with Amazon, Target, all this, that, and the third. When you see some of these commercials talking about, we stand with the American worker. We want to have a higher minimum wage. All they're saying is we want to destroy small business so we can get more money, so we can have a further dominating factor, a dominant stance in the American economy. Very simple. Oh yeah, and I seen the robots. That's right, Christy. You have these humanoid robots coming from Elon Musk, and it's talking about they do mundane and dangerous tasks, meaning they'll take American human jobs. When they become efficient, when they become not iRobot or The funny thing was, Elon said in the description that it's going to be a small bot, won't be too fast, and if it kind of goes out of control, you can overpower it. Overpower it? What you mean? I gotta like fight the robot? So you're trying to make it be small enough to, and our robot, these are not humongous robots. These robots were dodging bullets, shooting guns. They were doing a little bit of everything. I'm not sure a lot of guys can fight off a whole robot. Can you shoot a robot and it go down? Or what? If the robot is gonna be strong to do dangerous tasks, won't it also be strong to withstand blows from a blunt instrument or a pistol or something like that? Yeah, I don't want to have Terminator running around, iRobot. I'm good. But it's going to happen as far as the robots. It's going to happen. It's already here, really. You already have automation. Oh, that's something else. They're going to increase automation because you're talking about McDonald's. When I was in D.C., I went to a McDonald's, and right in the front, they had these kiosks. It was like it was 2 rows of 3 kiosks. So 6 kiosks right in the front. And it was easy. You just punch in what you want, pay right there, and you get a ticket. And you just wait. And then they call your number. You go to the front, get your order, and be out. Ain't no more cashier, nothing like that. It's one person at the front giving you your food. That's all. Then they talking about having drones deliver your food. It's going to get to the point where it's like a vending machine. You go to the drive-thru, you go to the kiosk, or you could just say it, and you can have the robot recognize your voice, show it to you on the flat screen, repeat it back to you. You go to the front and get your bag from the vending machine and be out with no humans. It might be like one guy in there just making sure everything's copacetic, making sure ain't no rats, nothing on your food and your food tray, and then that'll be it. No humans involved. All right. But I'm going way into the rabbit hole, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out. And thank y'all again for joining. What else we got going on? We got a whole lot happening. Oh, my man, going back to the vaccines right quick. My man Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor from Texas, he said an obvious thing that everybody should know. It's pretty simple. People are trying to say that though the people who are behind vaccine hesitancy are conservative Republicans and they don't care about anyone but themselves, and they're trying to paint people that don't want to get the shot as conservative Republican white guys, but that's just not the case. It's not political at all. And Dan Patrick said this. He's like, hey, why try to attack Texas and Republicans for not wanting to get the shot when all over the country, not just Texas, but all over the nation, black folks are the most vaccine hesitant. As far as any racial group, black folks are the ones who don't want to get the shot the most. Because they were trying to say that, oh, in counties that voted mostly for Biden, they have the shot more than Trump counties, but you don't really know who's getting it as far as their political affiliation. You don't know much. But you do know nationwide that black folks are the most vaccine hesitant. And he said that, and then they were trying to say that he was trying to blame black folks for the spread of the virus. It's like, nah. People say that the vaccine is, with the virus is spreading because of the unvaccinated. That's the logic that's out there from the left mostly. And some of these so-called doctors are saying, oh, it's like, well, what did Biden say? It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's what he said. But if you look at who's the unvaccinated, then you'll be able to see that it's not these so-called racist white conservatives. It's not that. It's not political at all. It's a lot of black folks that are involved. So if it's a lot of black folks that don't want to get it, and a 90% Democrat, well, where are Democrats at? Why blame the right when the left have their own issues to deal with? Again, not political at all. but they want to attack him for it. And what he said was, aside from, the whole thing about the spread being because of the unvaccinated, what he said made sense. It's like, look, man, if you want to get it, go out there and get it. If you don't, then don't. But don't blame one side. Matter of fact, here it is. I was trying to find a clip while I was talking. And let's go to it. And like I said in my video, this clip I agree and disagree with. I'm not just a guy that's a blind ideologue because he's conservative. I want to defend him. It's not just that. He said a thing in here that's right, and also a thing that's not necessarily correct in my humble opinion. Let's check it out and see what he says here. Let's get a little bit of sound, shall we?
State really quickly here, and as a response, coming after your state because the increased COVID numbers, hospitalizations, deaths are up in Texas, and there's a direct assault on your governor's policies and your state's policies. Yeah. Very brief response.
Yeah. Well, Laura, the COVID is spreading, particularly most of the numbers are with the unvaccinated, and the Democrats like to blame Republicans on that. Well, the biggest group in most states are African Americans who have not been vaccinated. And the last time I checked, over 90% of them vote for Democrats in their major cities and major counties. So it's up to the Democrats to get, just as it's up to Republicans, to try to get as many people vaccinated. But we respect the fact that if people don't want the vaccination, we're not going to force it on them. That's their individual right. But in terms of criticizing the Republicans for this, we're encouraging people who want to take it, but they're doing nothing for the African American community that has a significant high number of unvaccinated
TikTok
people.
Videos.
So they need to address that.
It's so simple. Like, what did he say there about the African American community, black community, whatever? That's incorrect. Now, again, the first part about, people that are spreading are unvaccinated, I don't know about that part. I mean, that's up for debate. I mean, because we know that if you have the shot, you can spread it and catch it and die. Maybe it's less likely, but you can. Well, it's less likely to die, but you're just as likely to catch it and spread it as an unvaccinated person. So, but if the logic from the left is, if you don't have the shot, it's your fault. If that's the logic, well, how about your own people? You have black folks who are largely your constituency, your people vote for you. They're not getting it. Why is that? Is it because Dan Patrick is saying, well, he's not even saying he's unvaccinated? Is it because somebody on Twitter, Warrior Mom 847 is saying that she doesn't have it? Is that the reason why it's not that? Maybe we have seen these things before. We've seen these experiments before that didn't go right. Tuskegee, Depo-Provera, Similac even was a problem. A lot of these hormone shots, clinical trials, asbestos. Back in Virginia, a lot of guys went on the shipyard, a lot of black guys, and they put in there for asbestos. They're getting paid. I know a lot of guys that got paid from asbestos. I know guys that got paid from lead because they lived in on top of lead contaminated factories. Like it's a factories right there. They tear it down, build a project. I know guys that got paid a big settlement and got put into a trust, and they got access to it when they turned 18 because of the lead. So we've seen all kind of things before as far as black folks. Anybody that's in the poor area, we've seen it. So why trust this? We don't get the flu shot, so why would we get this one? And every time, I don't know about y'all, I just observe, I just happen to look at the news sometimes, and then it's a story about somebody suffering from the bug. Every single time, it's someone that's like 800 pounds. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm mean for saying that, but that's what I see. They're about a strong, at least 725. Okay? If they put themselves into a ball and just roll, it'd be an avalanche in a snowstorm. You understand what I'm saying? So, and also the CDC said, they said back in March of this year, 2021, that 78% of those who are in the hospital with the virus are obese. 78%. Okay? So rather than just talking about this political stuff, how about we say, yo, you know what? You could do things to protect yourself from this thing. How about don't eat all the cookies in front of the table? How about when you are eating your dinner, don't have a serving tray for your plate? Get a regular size plate, maybe. Walk a little bit. Do one push-up. If you can't do two, do one. Do something. Rather than chugging your your daily whole pie down with a whole soda, a 3 liter of soda, get a water. Do it that way. We didn't want to say that. We said get this shot and that's it. Don't worry about the side effects. Don't worry about if it's gonna work. Don't even worry about it. And get the booster when that comes out too. If you have 2 shots but no booster yet, are you vaccinated? They say you're gonna need a booster shot after 8 months. So when 8 months is up, does it expire? Anyway, I digress. I ain't trying to get this video deleted, but that's on my mind. I want to say it. Yeah, see, Denise, walk a little bit. I'm not saying go out there and become some kind of decathlete like the first version of Bruce Jenner. I'm not saying that, but let's not be 800 pounds. That's all I'm saying. You can have a dad bod, that's fine, but lose about if you are having a problem walking upstairs, address it. That's all I'm trying to say. No judgment, no hate, because at one point I was bigger than what I am right now. I was never no roly-poly type person, but I was a little bit kind of out of control. I'm eating them honey buns to the point of ridiculousness. And I said, you know what? I don't like going to this store and I got to get the biggest pair of pants in the world. I don't like having to get these, parachutes for pants. I want to be able to wear regular clothes and look decent in the suit. So I tighten up. If I can, you can, period. All right, but we got some more going on. And thank y'all again for being here. Couldn't do it without y'all. And shout out to Orange Man Biden. Biden is becoming orange. Have you guys seen that? I was watching them during the press conference. I'm like, wait a minute. Is he orange? Okay. Breaking news. So we have Jesse Jackson and his wife both have the virus. So he's 79 and she's 77. Now, are they vaccinated? I don't know. Let's check it out. This is on CNN. Yep. He vaccinated. Got his first dose of January. Yep. So not only does he have this shot, he urged everybody to go out there and get it. So hopefully he'll be all right. But hey, I'm not sure. I think they're stopping calling it breakthrough cases now because ain't no breakthrough if you can get it while vaccinated. It's not a breakthrough case. It's just a case. All right. So yeah, I don't wish harm on anybody. Hopefully everybody gets well, but you're going to see more of this because they're saying if you got your shot like in January or earlier in the year, it's wearing off. Now, I'm not sure if it's wearing off or if it's because the virus is changing. I don't know, but they're saying you're going to need a booster shot. They already came out there and said that. The guy from NIH said that. Rochelle Walensky, CDC said that. I think even Dr. Doom, Anthony Fauci said that. So it's not me making it up. This is just reality. But we'll see. Yeah, Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Push, Get Out the Bush, all that good stuff. Hopefully he's okay. Again, I don't wish harm on anyone. Let me see. All right. Where was I at? I almost lost my train of thought. Oh, Orange Biden. I'm going to try to find that right quick. There was a clip from Fox. Let's see if I can find it. I want to play that right quick because that kind of sums it up. But yeah, this guy, Joe Biden, I'm not sure where he goes from here. How does Joe Biden, here it is. All right. But how does Joe Biden maintain respect among anyone worldwide, any world leader or anyone stateside? How is the respect maintained? I don't see how it is maintained. How many boosters? I mean, a lot. I saw this vaccine passport that came from France, allegedly, and it had spaces for 8 shots on it. And it might have been on one page of the app. Somebody said, I'm cracking jokes, but I don't want to be disrespectful. I mean, I always crack jokes. I mean, he ain't dead, so hopefully he's all right. Now, if somebody dies, I won't crack a joke necessarily, unless they were a really bad person, you know. But if they're alive and they get it, I'll give you a little bit of joke because you're not dead. You're okay for now. But hopefully he survives and everything's all right. Speaking about Messy Jesse. All right, but let's go to this clip right here. Do you see this man? Orange Man Biden. Do you see him? So here is a man, Tucker Carlson, talking about Orange Biden and what's going on with him.
Well, back in January, liberals around the world celebrated that the White House was no longer occupied by an orange president. Now, a lot of viewers of this show have noticed something. Joe Biden is turning orange. Oh, shit! It's not an exaggeration. Look at the pictures. In other words, the orange man is back. What's happening here? Is there something about the White House that turns people orange? Is it the water? Is it something else? We don't know, but we're going to stay on that story.
Okay, I'm not sure who that was laughing, but it wasn't me or anybody in my house. That's just a video I saw on Twitter. But hey, yeah, I saw that in the press. I'm like, is he orange? Is there a tenant bed in the White House that they go to? I don't understand what's going on. I can't relate. I've never gone to a tenant bed, so I don't know how they work. But I've seen that out in the world. I've seen people with different skin tones. It's like their underarms and around their eyes be different. I don't know nothing about that. But I do know that his skin tone most certainly has like a little orange hue to it. Okay, I'm getting Syracuse, Tennessee. I'm getting all that good stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But I'll move on. And there's still quite a bit to talk about. I guess we'll get to it during the calls. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll get to those in a little bit. I got super chats on deck first. I'm going to get to those, and then I'm going to just get straight on into where we got to go. But yeah, I want to see what happens to the United States as far as internationally. Are we respected anymore? If Biden has to go away for whatever the reason, are they going to respect Kamala Harris? Is that going to happen or no? I'm very curious to see how that whole thing will unfold. Okay, let's go back to where I was here. And all right, here we go. Thank you to Apple for a few super chats at the very beginning. He says, God bless U.S. military vets, Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines. Also, Godspeed to you, to U.S. citizens and allies. AFG, please get home. Oh, Afghanistan. Okay, I didn't understand the little short abbreviation for Afghanistan. That's not really my forte to understand all this. He also says, still no resignations for nor firings of Biden cabinet. It's crazy because when this kind of thing happens, an international debacle, nobody can spin it. Nobody's saying on either side, oh, it was okay. I think Biden is saying it. The only ones who are saying it's okay are people on TV that are very close to Biden, like in the cabinet, but nobody else. Everyone says it was a disaster. So when that happens, somebody's got to get fired. Heads got to roll, but no heads have rolled. Let me see. He also says Obama, Hillary, Slick Willie been pretty quiet. Yes, they have. Quiet as a church mouse. Ian Kinney says, when Trump was asked by Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business about lockdowns, people not getting the poke, he dodged a lockdown question and went on saying everyone needs the poke. What say you, ABL? I've been hearing about that, but I've not heard him say, I've not heard the full quote, but if you're saying that, I don't like that. I understand that Trump from the beginning was talking about wearing masks and things of that nature. I get that part. But you got to be hard on the whole thing about lockdowns. You can't ignore that question. You got to say no lockdowns. His stance should be that I think people should get the vaccine because we developed it with the Operation Warp Speed, fastest time ever. But if you don't want to get it, I understand, and it shouldn't be forced. That should be the easy way to go about that because some want the vaccine, some don't. That's the easy way to answer it, but I don't understand why he didn't do that. It's weird. But again, I got to see it for myself to understand exactly the full context, just so I don't make the wrong assertion, if that makes any sense. Atomic Tabasco says, it's a great name, by the way, at the Trump rally, amazing. Wish you guys were here. Doug Ripley, be good. All right. A few more for Apple. He says, Biden should fire Kamala, appoint Trump VP, then resign. Biden needs to come to Jesus moment, confess to fraud of 2020 and all of his sins. His soul's at risk. Wow, that's pretty deep. Let me see. Have the FBI solved Seth Rich? No. Joy Reid computer hack? No. Hillary emails? No. Has the FBI solved the January 6th insurrection? LOL. What do you think of Cletus bomb threat? Yeah, so the guy, the bomb threat at the Capitol, did you guys see that? Immediately when I heard about it, I'm like, fake, fraud, fed, instantly. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm not always right about everything, but my immediate gut reaction is more often right than wrong. Right away, I thought, fed. It was too convenient. The timing, I mean, you got Afghanistan falling apart. Joe Biden is being thrown up under the bus. He's barely able to move around. Talking about someone want to go back to Wilmington. Wilmington, sir, you were just in Camp David. You want to go you want to go from Camp David to Wilmington. You want to go back home when Afghanistan falling apart and it's your fault under your watch, sir. Come on, you're doing too much. I can't sleep, sir. See, so it just made too much sense to say, all right, let's do a little false flag or a distraction. Had this random moron pull up to the the Capitol with some bombs. Because for the past 8 months, the news has been January 6th, January 6th, January 6th, Capitol, 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 Capitol. So you put this random guy in the truck with a bomb, perfect distraction. It didn't even work. So, yeah, that whole story, I don't believe at all. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Let me see. Also, Erica Smith article disgusted me. Shame on her. Yeah, that was terrible. A black woman at that, but not surprising that you got these people of all races, it doesn't really matter, black, white, whatever, that just pretty much are shills for the Democratic Party, and specifically in this case, Gavin Newsom. Because the whole thing was, all right, you don't like Larry Elder, cool, but do you like Gavin Newsom? Really? She said that she would vote no on the recall ballot, which means she still wants Gavin Newsom to be there. You can find somebody else other than Gavin Newsom. I mean, my goodness. It's not just Larry Elder on the ballot or conservatives. You have Democrats, independents. You could at least endorse someone else. Don't just say, I'm going to keep the same guy we got in there. It was terrible. So right then I knew you have a Gavin Newsom shill, a troll for Gavin Newsom. Might as well be part of the Gavin Newsom campaign. Because it's the same thing. Let me see. God bless future California Governor Larry Elder. He the man. There you go. Thank you to Joel A for your donation. Thank you to Apple for quite a few more. He says, great show with Brennan Tatum and the Utes, Crump, and Dow. Yeah, shout out to my young homie, Chandler Crump, and also Vince Dow. Really smart guys. You know, when I see guys like that, they give me hope for the future, that all's not lost. Because sometimes I get a little discouraged. I know not to be, but sometimes it's hard. I'm a human being. I see some of these men on the street interviews, and they ask questions. How many continents on planet Earth? They get to count on their fingers. Don't even know. Who's the first president? I don't know. Reagan, Bill Clinton. Basic questions. They have no idea. Pure ignorance. And that's what I was saying on the show. A lot of these people, a lot of the leftists especially, want to keep people ignorant. They want to keep education dumbed down to be able to control people, because they could tell you whatever they want to tell you if you don't know any better. If you never experienced education, if you've never read anything for you, that's why they want to burn books digitally. They want to remove books, because you can find something in a book that you might not be able to find anywhere else other than that book. When I was a kid, I would go to the library to find information. I was curious. I was a real curious kid. I was trying to find stuff. I was trying to tinker with little stuff to figure out how it worked. And I would always ask questions, really inquisitive. But now they want to get it to the point where you can't even ask questions to get a real answer. They want to give you a fake answer. They want to give you like 1619 Project. When did the country begin? Oh, not when they tell you in the books, 1776, they want to say 1619. They want to just change history to make it fit what they want. But I digress. The whole point is that shout out to the smart young kids that understand reality, that understand history, and who are not brainwashed by the left. El Boogie says China has deep pockets in Afghanistan. I've seen it with my own eyes from 2012 to 2015. Facts. Oh, yeah. One thing about Afghanistan is the rare earth minerals. That's humongous. That's a big thing. Like I was saying before, China has the monopoly on rare earths, and a lot of that is in your cell phones. So, you know, all these little metals and stuff in your phone make it work. You know, get all these little supercomputers in the palm of your hand. A lot of Africa stuff, a lot of Middle East, some China, a little bit of everywhere. They go into your phone. Yeah, big money over there. The whole thing with the opium, that's not even really, they can make opium. They can make the fake, they got the fentanyl. That's the new hot wave. They don't really need necessarily the crop as much as they can rely upon the fake stuff to a certain extent, but that's a different story. Apple says, love the video, Black Mom torturing Antifa. Awesome. Yeah, that was a good one. This was in, I believe, Portland. She was wild, though, because she had her kids with her. That was crazy. If I could find that. Oh, here it is. Here's a video of a black mom crashing an Antifa event, I suppose. Let's put it on the screen right quick, shall we?
White supremacy is not the problem. Boys were not the problem. Antifa Black Bloc are the ones who threw bombs, mortars, and pepper spray at me and my children. My baby girl, 8 years old, nearly was hit in the face with an explosive by white people.
Now, I like her passion, but you got a whole infant on your arm, like a goo goo gaga, a baby, and 2 little kids that's right beside her as well. But she braved. I mean, I like the bravery, but you got little babies.
Dressed up in all black, attacking me and my family. It is not the Proud Boys. And you, the city of Portland, and everybody who supports them needs to know this. My black children were almost hit with bombs and mortars. My 9-year-old son was drenched in pepper gas thrown by Antifa. Boy, if Black Lives Matter to you, you better back up.
He's deaf, Gene.
They did not. Yes, they are part of the problem. Yes, they are part of the problem. But you know what? You, and you are the problem. Every single local news station denied my story. You rejected it in favor of one man with an airsoft gun. No Proud Boys were present that day. The event hadn't even started yet. We were shaking hands.
Yes, shout out to her. I'm gonna play the full thing. This is on Andy No's page. That's Andy No NGO on Twitter. That's a great person to follow for all this kind of BLM affiliate, not BLM, pardon me, Antifa and BLM to a certain extent, mostly Antifa type stuff. You know, that's what they do in Portland. A lot of these crazy 89.9 or 95% white liberals out there. What I say, they call them weekend crack smokers. That's what you got out there. Well, weekday crack smokers, weekend warriors. That's who Antifa are, in my humble opinion. And 95% white liberals. So he covers them a lot. And the mom was out there talking about, don't talk about the Proud Boys or the police. It's y'all. It's the crazy Antifa people that are out there causing the problem. So yeah, shout out to Andy No for that footage. That is on his page. You can check it out there. Let me go back to where I was. I'm kind of getting a little bit late here. Let me get to the calls in a moment. So y'all hang tight on that one. He also says, Van Jones hit you with any of the $100 million yet? I've not gotten any of the Van Jones $100 million. I wish I could get, a loan for about $5, $10 from Van Jones. He got it. I'm not sure what you're going to do with that money, but we'll see. Apple says, favorite food at the county fair, favorite ride at the fair. A funnel cake is always hitting at a county fair. Super unhealthy. Diabetes right away, but it's fine. I never eaten an entire funnel cake. If you eat an entire funnel cake, RIP to your arteries. But anyway, the favorite ride is always a little spin shrine when I was a kid. Now, as an adult, I don't get on county fair rides. If I'm gonna go on a ride, it's going to be at a proper amusement park. I'm kind of too big. I'm 6'3" right here. I'm a little bit too big for a county fair ride. But when I was a kid, I get on that spin shrine. I'll be upside down. And you know what? That spin shrine will be filthy. Kids will be on there throwing up, everything. So I feel like if you were on that spin shrine as a kid, you have immunity to whatever. The plague, the virus, whatever. You pretty much you have a rock solid immune system if you ever got on that spin shrine machine at the county fair, for sure. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you should. You should know what I'm talking about at the county fair. Hold on. Am I saying it right? Spin shrine? You know what I'm talking about. Some version of this, but not quite. This is like a real fancy one right here. That's like super fancy. Ours was like enclosed and real ghetto. And it was always the same one, rusty. You be on there cutting yourself on stuff. This is a real fancy one. I've never been on something nice before. Ours it was blue, like a dark blue, and closed top. That's how ours was. But if you went on that as a kid, you have a rock solid. You pretty much are impervious. 28 days later can never sustain your immune system. Gravitron, thank y'all. You know what I meant. Yeah, Gravitron. Yep. So you saw the real fancy one. Now the one I used to get on looked something like this on the inside. If you ever got on this as a kid, if you ever got on that, you straight, you good. I promise. You are good. Man, look, just look at it now. When you were a kid, it's like this is the best thing in the world. But look at it. Look how dirty that is. But as a kid, you had the time of your life on that thing right there. But it's completely filthy. I'm talking about nasty. But it's okay because it's fun. Yeah, that right there, great immune system. All right, let me get back to the supers here. And hold on, let me get back to where I was. All right. Thank you, Just Incredible says, the politicians are obviously puppets, tucking heads. Who are the ones pulling the strings? Puppet masters? Of course. Puppet masters all day long. Thank you to the anti-view who said, did you see the Step Brothers version of Biden reacting to Afghanistan? Hilarious. Warning, language. I've not seen that, but I'm going to check it out after the stream because I can't be playing the cutscene. But I'm going to check that out. Let me screenshot it right quick so I don't forget. Jerry J says, I'm here because I want to see America before it's gone. I've been right over 10 years, but you Americans have no idea. 10 years ago, everyone laughed at me. How do you feel now? Well, hey, it's rough. That's all I can say. Shout out to Noah, who says, as a Florida resident, I'm headed to California to vote for elders since they don't check IDs. Hey, you know what? It's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all. Ian Kinney says, did you catch the defense press secretary briefing this afternoon? Straight dumpster fire. They were clueless and just blabbing. I mean, what can you really say? It was a disaster. So they're trying to do damage control, and obviously it's not working. Shout out to Jerry J, who says, how people live before without vaccination or antibiotic. Think about that and you see the whole truth. Yeah, I'm with you. I am with you. Shout out to Byron 8899, who says, unfortunately, people in Bay Area are okay with vaccine and mask mandate because they believe it'll slow the spread. They might vote no on recall. Well, we'll see. We see how it goes. Thank you to Leah Maria Newman, who says, people at my medical facility took the vaccine and now have the virus. They lied to the Americans. Fire Fauci. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen people at senior communities have a breakout and they're all vaccinated. So people still think that you can be protected with this. All that they can do is allegedly give you fewer symptoms. Allegedly. That's all that they can do. Nothing else. People are still getting hospitalized with this whole thing. So what's going on? Shout out to Jerry J, who says, I saw only one black man doing construction, and he held a spirit level. When I returned from lunch, he was still there holding. Went and paid him a dime, just saying. Noel says, man, I got to fight these full transformers. Now robots, I give up. Shout out to Adam Schmidt for your donation. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you. Shout out to Lone Wolf 36S, who says, Google the definition of the vaccine. The injection doesn't create antibodies. It creates proteins, which CV-19 attaches to. It doesn't kill the virus. It doesn't boost immune. It doesn't stop the spread. Exactly. Thank you to Trey Pastel says, remember, if you go to bed with a itchy butt, don't be surprised when you wake up with stinky fingers. Okay, I don't know why. I mean, why you guys gotta do that? Thank you to Daniel Hopping, who says, Kyle Rittenhouse's trial starts November the 1st. He's facing life. Will you cover it, and do you think he'll walk? Well, I mean, I'm not going to cover it live like as it's going on, but I'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. Laura Catherine says, our dummy mayor just reinstated the citywide mask mandate. I will not comply. How does a mayor have that much power? What a loser. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Thank you to Andy the Gypsy, who says, have you heard of Cameo? Please get on it so I can book a cameo from you for my girl. She's the biggest fan. I might do that. I've gotten that same request before. People say, I need to get on Cameo. And I know what Cameo is. Cameo is this site you can join where people can send you requests to, like they can pay to have you say happy birthday or something like that, or a shout out or something to that extent. So yeah, I'm about to do that because I've gotten that request more than a few times actually. Shout out to BR, who says, shout out to you, ABL. Glad to be a supporter of you. Thanks for all the solid content. Love seeing you grow so much this past year. Keep growing. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. And thank you for being a supporter for 13 months. Appreciate that. Thank you to Matthew, who says, telling an obese person, let's not be 800 pounds is as effective as telling a communist, just don't be a communist, to explain why she is a failure. I don't disagree with your statement, though. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's just the bottom line. Maybe it's not going to work, but that's just what needs to be said. Thank you to Matthew again, who says, if the prime feminist of Canada can't be a world leader for a long time and still have zero respect and out of Canada, Biden can pull it off too. Well, that's a very good point. Very good point. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, ABL is a white man and attended bed too long. I knew it. I would never. Thank you to Ian, who says, Paul DeSantis 2024. Fingers crossed, dream team, U.S. flag. Joy Mugg says, would you rather do 30 days in California or the jab. I'll go 30 days in California. Yeah, I could find a pocket that's nice in California. That's fine, 30 days. Now, I wouldn't be there permanently. You know, I'm not trying to have the crackheads invade my territory or the meth monkeys, you know, climb around and invade my house. I don't want to have that happen. You know, so, yeah, I'll take that rather than getting the shot. Ian Kenny says, Gravitron. We figured that one out. Thank you to Ian Kenny, who says, kids don't grow up like we used to. 80s babies, last of a dying breed. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I mean, when I was a kid, I was doing all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. Let me see. Colt Haterate says, everybody I know who's a worthless commie got the shot. I don't know about you, but these people are making themselves extinct, and it makes me happy. I ain't going to say nothing like that, but I'm just reading the comments. Take it to John D. Pardon me, who says, Trump had a rally with 175,000 views live. That's very good. Yeah, he had that many concurrent viewers. That's crazy. That's more than these news shows be having all the time. Thank you to Jericho, my man. Jericho Green says, same here, ABL. Had the hard top Graviton too. Summer of 90, 1,000%. Yes, indeed. That was the time of our life. Being on that Graviton at the fair, get you a funnel cake, going to Graviton, going all the little battering ram rides. And what I would do all the time is go to Busch Gardens. You know, mom would take me up there every year because we're in Virginia. You go to Busch Gardens, you get on you go on the Big Bad Wolf, the Loch Ness Monster, all their rides. Fun times. But the county fair, the little hood rides were fun too. Shout out to Chaos Destiny, who says, watch Amit Sengupta video from today. Understand the importance of Afghanistan and why it should have been held. All righty. So I think that's a wrap for the super chats. Let's get to the calls. Oh, we got one more here. Thank you to Stavros Terrantopoulos, who says, vote for Larry Elder. I'm in California and we need help out here. I live in the high desert, Trump country. F Biden signs everywhere. Fantastic. Love it. All righty. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I know I'm late getting to the calls, but it's not my fault. Blame the white man. All right, because I took a brief little nap, a little power nap, a little, quick head on the couch, and I got up like 5 minutes late, so it kind of just pushed my whole show progression, my show preparation back by like 5-10 minutes. It messed me up. But anyway, we're here. Let's get to the calls. And let's get Skype operating properly if it wants to. If it doesn't, it's not my fault. And let's go 760. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's Bill.
All righty. What's going on?
I'm the one that wrote, how could, boy, I got an echo. Is it still there?
You're fine. I hear you fine.
I'm the one that wrote, how could you take a nap right now? The world's falling apart.
Right.
You can't be sleeping while the world's falling apart. I've never heard anybody talk about this, and I'm going to try to make it make sense. They knew that they were going to have to get a ton of votes to beat Trump. And if you're going to get a ton of votes or create a ton of votes to beat Trump, you can't really do it with Gillibrand or Yang or Swalwell. So to me, they picked Biden because that would be like the most believable. Does that make sense? Everyone's saying, why did they pick Biden? To me, if you're going to do what they did, he would be like the most believable. Has anybody ever talked about that or brought it up?
No, I've not heard that take before, but it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because Biden is a well-known name attached to Obama. People know who he is rather than Christian Gillibrand or a Pete Buttigieg. So what you're saying makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, if Yang won with 80 million votes, it'd be obvious. So I just wondered if you had ever heard about that or anybody ever brought it up, and it just kind of dawned on me today. So I thought I'd mention it.
Very good point.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right. And the phone lines are jumping. The phone lines are blowing up. I'm trying to get to everybody as soon as I can, so y'all just hang tight. But yeah, I mean, it does make sense because it's more believable. It's still unbelievable, but it's more than if you just put a random person in there and then they get 80 something million. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very good point. 808, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how you doing, brother? We spoke last week.
All righty. Everything's
Calling
good.
in again.
All right, what's going on?
I got a couple of things
I don't know what happened. I didn't hang up on you, boss. It's not me. So I don't know what happened. I'm gonna try to get you back on at a different time, I suppose. Oh, there he is, right there. All right, 808, you there, boss?
Hey, my fault, man. I meant to put you on speaker because I made a few quick notes and I hung up by accident.
Yeah, but don't do that actually because the quality of the call goes down.
Oh, okay. All right, let me just look at these real fast. Okay, a couple points I want quick. Did you hear about the video that came out about the ballot issue with the California recall? Did you see that video?
Yeah, it was two women that were stealing ballots or stealing mail from.
No, dude, this is even crazier. There's a video out there. I don't have any social media or anything like that, but I seen it. Somebody posted a YouTube video. So on the ballot, in the envelope, there's two hole puncher size holes on the front of the envelope, you know, that you sign in, you send it back in for the mail-in ballot.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that it perfectly lines up and you can see from the outside of the envelope whether the person who submitted that ballot voted to recall Newsom or not. That particular question just happens to perfectly line up with those holes.
Wow.
Yep. They're trying to, a lot of people are saying that it was done on purpose because the position of the question on the ballot, and then, like, you know, if say the person votes yes, they do want to recall them. And then there's a list of candidates, you know, everybody that's Larry Elder and everybody else that's on there. But the position of that particular question can be seen from the outside of the envelope.
Yikes. So yeah, that's going to be an issue there. I mean, there's already some shenanigans going on.
I seen it yesterday, and you know, we know how big tech is about that kind of stuff, so it could be kind of hard to find out if it's even still there. But yeah, you gotta try and find that. There's a lady who shows everything step by step, and letting people know, hey, if you're submitting a ballot, turn it around. That way they can't see if you voted to recall him or not.
Right.
Second thing is, the other day in Hawaii, there was a story on our news that says, quote, if more restrictions or lockdowns are necessary, the unvaccinated are to blame.
It's crazy.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's simply not true. Because,
yep.
I mean, you can, if you have the shot, you can catch it, spread it, and go to the hospital the same as anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing, and I've heard you say it, I've heard a bunch of people say it, I've read it myself. The only thing that allegedly, is you may have less symptoms, but you still have the same viral load in your system. You still have the same chance of spreading it if you have the vaccine or not. So to me, it's crazy. I think it's just more them looking for somebody to blame. And the other thing too with that is they won't release, when they release our daily case counts, it says specifically the state does not report on the vaccination status of people. And I think they're doing that because they know that's going to go against the narrative. It's going to go against the narrative because the numbers are very, very close. If not, could be even more people who have COVID right now are vaccinated.
Right.
So to me, that I think is something that's pretty strange, that you would hear actual language like that from elected officials. The unvaccinated are to blame. Like, this is an island. Hawaii is made up of small little islands. You know what kind of blowback that could have?
Right.
So that, and then the last thing I just wanted to say was, and again, something you said earlier, I never, ever, ever took the flu shot in my life. Never took it. I'm in my mid-30s now, but I moved to Hawaii about 10 years ago. So when I came here, I got a new doctor. Doctor was telling me, hey, because you're in a new climate, Everything is new. I think you should probably get the flu shot. You know, it's free, this and that. So I was like, all right, you know what? And a lot of people too, like family that I had here and friends that I had made, they were saying, hey, you should get it just to be safe, because the climate is totally different from the East Coast. And, you know, hey, why not? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll get it. I had never been sicker in my life the time I got the flu shot. 103 fever, throwing up, felt like I was going to die. From that day, I've never taken a flu shot again. And before that, I had never gotten the flu.
Right, exactly.
So that's part of my reasons of why I'm not going to get the vaccine. You can't untake the vaccine. Once you take it, it's in your body. Who knows what's going to happen? There's no long-term studies, not FDA approved. It's emergency use only. I mean, you pick a reason, and there's a million of them, and I think it should be a choice.
Right on, man.
But thank you, brother. I'm going to watch the rest of the show, and shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you taking the call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye, bro.
Yeah, exactly. 100% correct. And like I always say, your body, your choice, right? If you want it, go get it. But if not, you have a reason. You have valid reasons why you don't want to get it. And it's fine. Let's get to the next one here. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name's Chris. How you doing, Mr. Logan?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm just kind of bummed out about everything that's happening at this point. It really is starting to get dark, bleak. And I was just curious what you think about moving forward on this, what the last caller was talking about concerning the vaccine mandates. And, you know, we see the stuff in Australia, and that's really frightening. And I'm just curious what your take on that is, where you think we're heading or what we do. Or, I mean, there's so many aspects to this. I know it's sort of a big question, but I am curious what you think. And I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that it's good that you have, how can I say this? You still have some states that are operating beyond what the federales are trying to make us do, if that makes any sense. We don't have to just do whatever they say. We can kind of do our own thing. Like where I live, and none of that going on. No mandates, no mask requirements. We could pretty much do whatever. We're straight. We're free. And there's no outbreaks or nothing like that going on here. It's just not. They want to say, oh, Tennessee has a low vaccination rate, all this and that. But I'm here. I live here, and there's no problems. Everything is just like normal. You know, I went to a football game yesterday, high school football. You might have seen a handful of masks, but for the most part, anybody wearing it, everybody's having a good time. And it's not this big issue here. You understand what I'm saying? And really, people need to be getting out more, getting that vitamin D, getting that sunshine on their body, rather than kind of trying to hide. That ain't gonna help you. If anything, it'll make it worse. So we don't live in fear out here, and I think a lot of states are like this, which is why we're getting all these new people coming out here, traffic jams. The traffic has been crazy. I've been here since late 2017, and I've seen the traffic exponentially increase. Houses being built. I mean, the development is crazy. They building houses wherever they can put a house. They building houses on the side of creeks and old barns. They trying to repurpose. I mean, they're doing everything they can. They can't build them fast enough. It's crazy. So people are starting to kind of migrate to free areas, to free states. If that's how crazy as that sounds, that's what's happening. So, like, long story, long answer, less long. I'm not really worried about it. Now I know you're in line with speaker to.
Hi, this is Elise. How are you?
I'm well. About yourself?
Doing well. Appreciate everything you do. I've been watching you for a while. I've just been thinking recently about the whole voter ID requirement. And my thoughts are, we have a social issued out to every American citizen. So why is it not a problem for the government to issue out a voter ID card to every legal American citizen to take to a polling place.
I mean, now as far as a national ID, I'm not really in favor of that. But as far as state governments, a lot of them already do it. I think that should be a statewide thing. And I think everybody should adopt it, because how much does it cost really make an ID card? It's not that expensive, because really they might charge you, if you get one, it's like $10, $15. Like, why even do that? Just make it be part of the budget and give everybody a free ID. It just
Right.
at least just for voting purposes, and have that be that.
Yeah, they already know that you're a registered voter, and I'm in North Carolina, and you can look up an individual person and know where they live. You have to give a physical address, and so it's a little, I think, alarming to me that you can sit there and look someone up on their voting history, where they live, but they're not going to require an ID for you to vote.
Right, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that big. To me personally, their argument is people can't get out to the DMV and they can't do this and that. Well, they could mail out a voter ID card just as easy as they do a voter registration card.
Right.
That's just something I've been thinking about. Like, I don't really agree with all these arguments, and I was just trying to think of a way that could possibly solve this problem that everyone seems to be having on voting. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
Same to you.
Bye.
All right. Let's get to some more here. And let's do 215. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Chris. How's it going?
Everything's well. About yourself?
Good. This is just kind of a PSA. I just want to say it and hang up, hear your thoughts on it. I was hoping more people could start calling their reps, their representatives, and tell them that new gun control laws will not be tolerated. We just watched our government gift $85 billion with a B, dollars worth of military-grade weaponry to a terrorist organization. And due to that, there is no way Congress can justify infringing any more, ever again, on Americans' God-given, constitutionally recognized right. So I hope that everyone can just call their reps and point that out. Thank you, ABL. Peace.
Thank you. All right. Good call. For sure. Out here where I live, I see them all the time. I've met Bill Lee a couple times. People that are running for office around here, people that are in the office, whether that's state Senate, U.S. Senate, whatever. I talk to them all the time. I was at this dinner and met a few people, met some donors, met a little bit of everybody. People were asking me, did I want to run? It's like one guy, very well-known guy around here, was asking me. I talked to him for like 2 minutes, told him who I was and what I got going on. It's like, everything about running? It's like, hey, why would you? But my point is that I'm around all these people all the time. So it's good to sometimes even be around them, and understand kind of where they are, and understand who your leaders are if you're able to. Just understand who you are dealing with before you vote and after you vote. Kind of watch them and see what they do. Don't just let them stay there and just kind of work on autopilot. Stay on them and see what they got going on. 520, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Tom.
All righty, what's going on?
Not much, man. I just had a quick question for you. How long I don't know if this has been asked before, but how long do you think Biden's going to make it through this presidency? If he's going to make the 4 years. And is it worse for America if Kamala takes over, in your opinion?
Well, I think that if they get him out of there, it'll be sooner than later. I think by the end of this year, he'll be done if they get him out. But if not, by the end of this year, I think he won't make it. It'll probably be right around midterms. Midterm,
yeah.
like they want to get him through midterms for the purposes of that election, because they're not going to look very well as a Democratic Party with this guy that's pretty much dead in there, still the president, and they're still trying to say, hey, go out there and vote. Well, it's like, wait a minute, you got this dead man in here as the president. Are we going to get a dead man for a House rep or a senator as well? So they're going to try to get him out because of this whole Afghanistan thing. And Kamala Harris will replace him, but she's no better. She's just alive, actually, rather than Weekend at Bernie's, the zombie known as Joe Biden.
She scares me, man. She scares me.
Yeah, but I mean,
ABL, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
All right, now. But yeah, Kamala Harris, she is going to do the same thing Joe Biden is attempting to do, which is basically be a figurehead and let the people behind the scenes run the show. The generals and the staffers and the consultants, they'll run the show. They'll be the ones in charge. You know, you seeing the press secretary and this other random lady coming up there and talking at the podium. They'll be the ones in charge, not Kamala Harris. She's not going to be a leader. Kamala Harris, the highest office she got was Attorney General. And what did she do there? I mean, she has no managerial experience, really. But I digress on that point. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to? Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm well. I got some noise in the background. Turn your speakers on for me, please.
Hi, my name is Hyphen. How are you doing?
Okay, caller, can you hear me? Out in the background, you have noise going on. Turn your speakers down for me.
Okay, hang on. How's that? Is that better?
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm just phoning from Canada. I just wanted to know what your opinion about was Trudeau and how is him and Biden getting along these days, you know?
Trudeau, I think Trudeau is kind of an odd character. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. What did he say? She Nation and something the other day? I mean, you've got to look at this stuff. You know, you guys have a problem with left wing down there, but in Canada and specifically UK as well, terrible problems with left wing stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've heard that you don't really have anybody that's conservative in Canada, like that could be in office. It's kind of a shame.
No, and the sad part about it, Anthony, is the fact that we have an election coming up now, and I mean, Trudeau got into power, I can't remember, like 6 years ago, and he put on the docket that he wanted to legalize marijuana. So all the kids came out and voted for him. And of course, he got into power, and then he got a minority the last time. I mean, you know, with COVID, he's trying to take control now so he can get a majority government and take over Canada like a tyranny. I mean, you know, Biden has, you know, he started this process with the Democrats, but we already got this problem here in Canada, man. You have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing about some things in Canada that are pretty crazy, and I just hope that the whole North America does not become that way, because that'd be a problem.
Well, again, he wants to mandate these COVID injections to everybody. And I mean, you know, you're not just talking about government workers or nurses. You're not just talking about, you know, regular people in work scenarios. I mean, thank goodness I would tell you that I'm retired, so I don't have to put up with that problem. But these people are being bullied into this injection. It's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in America, too, you guys are being bullied. And I mean, you know, if you look at the statistics, again, they're trying to inject everybody here. But who knows? I remind people, my friends, about thalidomide that was introduced in late 50s, in the early 60s in the UK and 55 different countries. And that drug was not tested. The same as this, I don't know, concoction they're talking about, like a flu shot. But thalidomide went around the world to 55 different countries. And you had flipper children. This is terrible. It's terrible what they're doing to this world. This injection is terrible with mRNA in it and all the rest of gubbins and MC5 and stuff. You know, I'm sure you've talked about it because I watch your show, so you know what I'm talking about here.
Yes.
Well, Anthony, I don't know what the solution is, but hold the line is what we say here. You have to. What's the word? Hold the line. In other words, non-compliance is the best way I could explain it. Do not agree. Do not wear a mask. Do not take the shots. I mean, if you're taking 2 or 3 shots and it's making you sick, there's a problem, and it's got nothing to do with catching a flu.
That's right.
Well, Anthony, I know you understand what I'm saying. So this is awesome. I watch your show most of the time, like every other day, and I appreciate your point of view, especially from American politics, because they don't tell you about that on CBC or the BBC or I don't know, whichever stations they're watching it here in Canada. It's terrible. Again, it's like the BBC. It's so left wing. You don't even know what's going on in the world because they're I don't know, brainwashing you, I guess is the best way of saying that.
Right on. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, well, if you're going to listen to it, then let everybody else listen because I'm not talking any nonsense here.
Right on. Exactly. Thank you.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller and shout out to you guys in the chat. You guys are fantastic. All right. Let's get to some more here. The number to call 434-658-1220. I almost gave you the wrong number. You can't be calling that one. Don't call that one. 434-658-1220. Let's go 662. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how you doing?
Everything's great. About yourself?
Doing great. So, did you hear that on the vaccinated, they're not actually testing you unless you get hospitalized? So It would make sense then that the unvaccinated that are getting tested are more of the ones that are spreading the virus because they're not even testing you if you've been vaccinated.
Well, exactly. You're kind of like just messing with the numbers because, and I thought about that too. I'm like, okay, well, how do they really know who has it, who doesn't have it? Because everyone may not get tested. They may have it, know they have it, and just stay home and isolate and wait till it gets better.
Yeah, for sure. And what they're doing against Larry Elder, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, anytime anybody comes out as conservative, oh my, they go try to hit and attack them. And I agree with you. Like, how come none of this has come up before? They hated Larry Elder long before this. They've talked against Larry Elder, say he's a coon and all that kind of stuff a lot. But now we're suddenly getting slander pieces pop up. I think he needs to go after them for libel if they post falsehoods.
I mean, he could do that, but I think he needs to focus more on just trying to become the governor because, I mean, you try to do that, you'll be fighting them court battles, and that'd be all that you do rather than actually trying to be, leading the state of California.
Well, all right. Go ahead and blame me, there, ABL. And the salt must flow.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. But you can get caught up in like trying to attack people for attacking you and trying to seek vengeance, but it's a never ending cycle right there. You be doing that and nothing else. All right. Let's go 602. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Asia.
All righty. What's going on?
First of all, I just wanted to thank you for being who you are as a Black conservative. I just want to thank you for your voice, and I appreciate you. But besides that, I wanted to say my biggest fear about Kamala Harris taking over Joe Biden's position is who her VP would be. And my biggest fear is that it might be Hillary Clinton.
Oh, boy.
Because that's a big fear. What do you think about that, ABL?
Well, that'd be really that'd be scary. That'd be very scary because Hillary Clinton, that's like the Grim Reaper. You don't want to see Hillary Clinton because she gets in there, it's pretty much over. Just go ahead and just write it off and call it a night.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear because of their connections. I did some digging, and I believe that I can't say it properly because I don't remember the names, but somebody that works for Kamala kind of Hillary. Well, they're all together, obviously. I don't have to go into that. But who do you think her pick would be?
I don't know. I don't even know how that works. If it's like, can she appoint a VP and she becomes a president because of Joe Biden leaving or dying or whatever? Can she just say, all right, I'm gonna just pick somebody and put him in here?
Don't take my word for it exactly, but I believe so. From the little bit of research I've done, I believe they get to just call it. I don't believe it goes to a vote.
Okay. Well, I don't even know. It could be somebody that I think that it wouldn't even be her picking them. It'd already be selected. Just like I feel like she was selected. I don't think that she just said, hey, can I be the VP? And he was like, yeah. I think it was already, I think Biden was arranged and so was she. So whoever they say should be the VP, she might try to pick Cory Booker or somebody like that because she was already placed alongside him during the campaign cycle leading up to the 2020 election. She might pick some random guy like him, or she might go the LGBT route and pick Buttigieg.
That makes sense. That was the pandering would make sense. And one last thing, I'm wondering if you're ever going to touch on alternative communities for those of us who want to live outside of this new paradigm that's coming up. Those of us who want to live in conservative and Christian values, homeschooling, and alternative living communities.
You asking me like, what was the question about? Would I talk about that or what?
You would think about talking about that because we are seeing a phenomenon that has happened in the past: neighbors snitching on neighbors, friends snitching on friends for not being vaccinated. And I have a bad feeling that we're going to see more of that as the mandates start to roll out. I've already lost several friends because of my stance on it. So I'm wondering if maybe one day, maybe not now, but one day you can touch on that.
I think I will. I definitely think I will because I get a lot of those kind of questions. And really where I live is kind of like that. It's chill. It's no problems. Anybody trying to do nothing to you is really cool. And I think just as a general statement, without getting too deep into it, smaller cities are better. Not really small towns, but just smaller cities. You get all the amenities you need, everything you need for the most part. But if you're trying to go to a New York, or you can forget about it. Smaller cities.
No way, I'm from New York. I'll never set back foot in there. But I definitely think this is a time for us to bring it back to simplicity and less on consumption. Some of us are learning how to grow our own food and barter. So I really suggest people start talking to their like-minded people about those things. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, ABL. I think you're great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so it's a lot of smaller areas starting to come up. Like where I live, if I go down the street, you got cow farm. Like I see cows and horses. I saw somebody had a bunch of alpacas or something in the backyard randomly. I was talking about like 25 alpacas just chilling, like it was nothing going on. Like, hey. So I see a lot of that where I live. That's very common. You can get farm fresh eggs. One guy had chickens in his front yard, no fence or nothing, right on the side of the road, like it was all good. And that's common. So if you live in an area like that, you'd be better off, in my opinion, for sure. But avoid the humongously gigantic big cities. You don't have to live in a faraway land if you don't want to. You can if you want to. A lot of guys do that. They have a homestead. They have like a subsistence farm or something like that. You can do that. Or you could live in a smaller, moderately sized city with that kind of stuff on the outskirts. So if you want to go out there, ain't nothing but a 5-10 minute drive, you can get to where you need to be. All right, let's get some more here. Let's go. All right, hold on. 415, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 415, hello.
Hi, sorry about that. Name's Rosie. How are you?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm good. So I just want to touch on one of the other things the girls brought up about, living in communities that are separate. Me and my husband live in San Francisco. We live in commie San Francisco, and we're trapped here. We feel trapped everywhere we go. Thank God that I don't have to go into the office anymore. I can be at home working, and it's a blessing, but it's also allowed us to be able to move. So we're trying to move out of state. We want to go to Wyoming. up north. That's where my brother moved a little over a year ago because of things going on. My parents just moved there this past week. And that's where we're trying to ramp it up and go in the next few months. It's just so bad here. And I don't know if you know about this, but California passed a law, and I'm going to just put it plain and simple, where they pretty much just took away parental rights. So I had a friend that I grew up in church post about her 12-year-old daughter bringing her to the doctors saying, hey, I didn't get a notice. I didn't get anything about the appointment. And then when I try and sign on my app, none of her info's on there, but my younger kids are. Oh yeah, no, you're no longer allowed to know any of her medical information. And that's all California law that they passed, because they're trying to protect children if they're in abusive situations. But that's expecting every single child to be in that situation. And I was 12 or even 15. I didn't want to go to the doctors myself. I looked up to my parents to do that. It's disgusting. And then also, I follow this guy, Jeremy Harrell, calls himself a hip hop patriot. He does MAGA music. He has his own little show, and he's on Rumble a lot. And he's having people that are mailing in letters from these commie cities and commie states where their hospitals are canceling them as patients that they treat, and they're patients that need help. People that are on wait lists to get a transplant are now being taken off the wait list because they will not get a vaccine. I'm sorry, and I'm talking the hind legs off the donkey, but it's terrifying. It's completely terrifying. And I've called this a year ago, but I know this sounds dramatic, but I was like, we need to get out of not just this crazy city, but this state, because I feel like sooner or later they're not going to let us leave. So I'll get off my soapbox and I'll let you respond, and I'll hang up.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's a lot going on. And I think I was saying that as far as that last part about, not letting them leave, I've said that, like, isn't that kind of going on right now in Canada where they won't let you leave, or you can't get a visa or something like that if you've not gotten the shot? Did I hear that correctly about Canada? I'm not sure if I did or not, but I was like, hey, you might as well escape right now while you can, while they still let you leave. It's crazy. But these are the kind of problems that California faces, aside from the obvious stuff. Aside from the drugs and the crime and the high cost of living, it's a lot of other things. You don't have rights over your children. The school system is crazy. They're trying to brainwash you. They're trying to push LGBTQ, LMNOP, X, Y, and Z onto your children at a very young age. California is a place where I told you guys there was a transgender reveal in the kindergarten class. I'll explain if you didn't hear this story. So a kindergarten class had this happen. One of the kids went to the bathroom, right? Just during class, they went to the bathroom or away, and they came back a few minutes later as a quote unquote different gender. They had a transgender reveal in front of their classmates, kindergarten. So of course the kids are going home crying. Mommy, am I going to become a boy? Am I going to become a girl? Kids not going to understand what's going on because the teacher is like, hey, little Johnny is now little Jimmy, like Forrest Gump. They can't process the information. So then the parents, they're upset. They go to the school board meeting. They pat window to the wall. How dare you do this? Never do that to my child. They're dealing with that kind of stuff in California. And that is kind of an issue nationwide as far as CRT and woke stuff. But I think California has a really, really bad case of it. A really bad case of just random, ridiculous woke stuff going on. It's crazy. All right, let's get to a few more here. All righty, anonymous caller, what's happening? Hello, anonymous caller.
Yes, ABL, I'm watching you here live.
Yes, but there's a delay, so turn that down for me, please.
Turn you down?
Yes, because I can hear myself. Like you're watching the stream. Turn that down for me, please.
I just did. I understand what you're saying. Right with you there, buddy.
All righty.
Yeah. I've never called in to talk to anybody before like this at all, and I check in with you pretty regular. I don't watch you every day. But I had some thoughts that I wanted to express with you, and I think you're very intelligent, one of the best I've ever seen, and I respect your views, and I'm right with you. We're on the same page.
All righty.
What I'd like to discuss with you about this vaccine is I don't watch the mainstream media at all, really. I mean, CNN and all the names you call them, for the simple reason that, it's just a bunch of bull. But what I've been noticing, and I'm a fairly intelligent individual, I think, that there's many, many people in this country that have had natural immunity build up to this virus. I mean, they say, I think I heard one time for whatever number they think the people have had it, you can probably triple it. And the symptoms can be from nothing to a minor cold or far worse. But the point is that you don't hear anybody talking about testing. When Trump was in office, it was testing, testing, testing. And where's all this testing? I mean, where I went to school, what I learned about biology was that once you beat a virus, you're immune to it. And why can't they test people and give them a card saying you've built antibodies to this virus? Natural immunity is proven to be the best. Why not test the people and give them a card saying that you've built antibodies, you're good to go? But nobody raises this issue or question I've heard anywhere, ABL. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that the government is just doing too much. They're getting too much into our personal lives, and they really shouldn't be there. I think that all they need to do, rather than any kind of invasive thing, is give us information, tell us ways we can protect ourselves and protect others, and let us do that. That's all that they should be doing. All the other things aren't going to work, first of all. And second of all, is too much of an invasion of privacy. Just give me information, be honest, be straight with me, and have that be that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but you understand my my thoughts about the fact that they seem to ignore natural immunity.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Why should I not be able to go into a restaurant if I've already had the virus and beat it? I should, if they want to force people to have some proof that they have antibodies against this to reduce the spread, you should say, I've already beat it. I'm good to go. Here's my card. I've been tested. But they won't. You don't hear anybody, and that's common sense. I mean, that's what bothers me about this. Common sense on this whole thing seems to be gone out the window. And you've heard it everywhere from people saying, I can go into Target and buy a cup of coffee, but the coffee shop next door was shut down. I couldn't go in there. This whole thing is just absurd. And as far as this virus goes and the origin of it, I wanted to make one more comment, and I'll get off of here, is that if this was in fact, which common sense says, gee, we had a virus get out of Wuhan where there's a lab. Geesh. I wonder if that's possible. I think it's probable, not possible, probable. And then this gain of function research, from what I understand, some other research that I've done shows that that this Dr. Fauci and people involved in this own patents to the coronavirus and all the testing, which I saw that they just sold out, evidently, the patent or something to Soros and Gates. But if they're doing this kind of research in these labs, according to the information I've seen, it is illegal to do bioweapons research. So again, why aren't, of course, why they protect them, but the question is, why aren't they working harder to pinpoint this origin, this virus, and do what's necessary to these people that broke the law? But again, the left covers all their buddies. So I was just wanting to comment on that. And if you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them.
Well, you pretty much said it all for me, but I got a few more calls on the line, so I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Well, I'll be watching you, and I really enjoy what you have to say. I'm right with you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
There's more of us. Thanks, ABL.
Right on. All right. Shout out to the caller. Good call. 860, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how you doing, buddy?
Well, about yourself.
I'm doing awesome. I don't want to get the video deleted or anything, so I'm just going to say all you people that are like me that really don't do well with gene therapy because it's not a vaccine. A vaccine is dead virus. This is gene therapy. Dr. Shiva, who's a brilliant man from India, he invented the email while he was a student in MIT. He's on Facebook. Watch his videos, and he will tell you about what vitamins you should be taking to boost your immune system. And you're absolutely 100% correct. 78% of all the people that are in the hospital are overweight because you cannot breathe effectively when you got fat between your lungs and your rib cage. And when you're seriously obese, you know, my brother, he's like 300 pounds and 5'5". He's like, you know, when you listen to him breathe, it's terrible. But that's why, because COVID stops the transfer of blood or oxygen to the blood. And when you already have a compromised respiratory system, you know, it's death. It's a death sentence practically.
Right.
And I wish we could talk about the 18-year-old black girl that just developed stitches that change color if your wound becomes infected. Brilliant young girl. I wish we could talk more about stuff like that, but you know, what I need is a vaccine from Maxine.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. Let's get that vaccine rolled out.
Yeah, I make memes on Facebook. I get banned a lot. Like, we're Democrats. We don't, stupid voters, we're Democrats. We don't solve problems. We create new ones. But I just wanted to say about this Afghanistan thing, this is par for the Democrats since Vietnam. If you research 1-for-1 deal that we had, they went back on that, and they went back on their word, and the North Vietnamese couldn't believe it when they started attacking, so they just took over the country. And then in Mogadishu, the Rangers, I know this for a fact, the Rangers asked for 1 Abrams tank, 2 Bradley fighting vehicles, and Rangers always worked with a Spectre gunship. Bill Clinton said no, and what he did for him was pull the battalion of Marines out. So that's how Black Hawk Down happened. And then 13 Hours in Benghazi, that's 100% Hillary Clinton. You can watch both those movies. And especially the 13 Hours in Benghazi, that was told by the guys that were there. And they were trying to get back handheld surface-to-air missiles that they accidentally let the wrong guys get in the Middle East. So that's that. And I don't know. What do you think about that?
What's your question specifically? Because there was a lot there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
About Democrats, you know, throwing in the towel. I mean, they just gave them like what, $800 billion worth of military-grade assault weapons.
I mean, really, what it was just a terrible. The whole thing was done terribly. If you want to leave, okay, I'm not against leaving, but let's do things properly. If we're gonna do it right. It's very simple. They did not do that.
Exactly. No, they didn't. They just left in the middle of the night like a thief.
That's right.
They didn't even prepare the Afghanis, you know, say, hey, we're leaving on this date. And they should have pulled the equipment out first.
Well, they should have just got the U.S. citizens out first. I mean, keep all the equipment and stuff there while you have the military there. Get the citizens out first. Get all the people that need to get out that we said we're going to get out, U.S. citizens, the reporters, and people like that were trying to flee like everybody else. Get them out first. Then you take all the equipment in the military. You do things in the proper way. This was a pure debacle from top to bottom. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, this whole administration's been a pure debacle ever since the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you do a show on that 18-year-old girl that invented those stitches that change color. She's getting it patented. She's a black girl. Very impressive. Thank God that they didn't teach her CRT, that she can't do anything because of the color of her skin, you know.
Right.
Like, you know, if I needed brain surgery, I'd want Dr. Ben Carson, or at least his recommendation. You know what I'm saying?
Right on. Exactly. Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. God bless you, ABL. Have a good night. I know you got other callers.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. And the phone lines are jam-packed. So y'all just, if I can't get you on just yet, it's not my fault. You got to, you know what to do. Blame the white man. It's his fault. All right. Let's get to it. Let's go. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How's it going, man?
Everything's good. About yourself?
Good. Can you hear me okay? Because I know I got you on speaker.
It's okay, but do you have anything on in the background? Any speakers on?
Yeah, hold on. Let me turn on the mute on your show. Hold on a second. ABL, let me ask you a question, man, because I see everybody, yourself, Tucker, Hannity, you know, everybody on Fox, on CNN, everybody talks a lot about what's going on. They say, you know, we clearly see the things that are wrong right now. I think both sides see it. One side might deny it and just, you know, pretend they don't see it, or they're dumb and they really don't see it. Either way. But the ones that do see it and just pretend they don't just because they hated Trump or anything else. And then there's the people, the Republicans, you know, who clearly see what's happening here, you know. But no one does anything about it. There's a lot of people just talking lately on all the shows. And they point it all out, and a lot of things are obvious. But again, no one does anything about it. That lady that came out, you know, talking about how I have private security and suck it up and stuff like that. Why does no one do anything about that? Like, really, like, go protest in front of her house. Go do things, you know, directed at these people, you know, not protest somewhere else or, you know, write letters. No, actually physically go do BLM style things to the people that are doing things to us. No one's doing anything. No one's pushing back.
Okay, so
you know.
All right, now what you want? Like January 6th again? So everybody get locked up and no,
well,
no. Like, hold on. Let me just get it out because I've heard this a lot. So here's what's happening. You want to do like BLM type stuff? You have to understand we're not BLM. BLM could do whatever they want because those that are in power have their backs. They believe in what they believe in. Now we want to do something like that. We want to go out there and protest or whatever, and somebody mess around and they fall and break their pinky finger. Then everybody gets locked up. The federales come into your door. They busting in your house. They going to Alaska to find random old ladies that weren't even in the Capitol and invading their home. So we see that this is a deeper problem than just trying to say, oh, we need to go out there and protest, because that ain't going to do nothing. We need to be able to get down to the core of what's happening. They're trying to brainwash children from a young age. See, we have to be able to understand the reality that we live in order to navigate and get ourselves out of it to be able to have a future. Because trying to do protests, that's not going to do a thing but just make us, it'll just get people locked up, and it won't, at the end of the day, nothing will change. In my humble opinion, you got to get down to the core of what's happening and fix it that way. Does it make sense?
Partially, but I also see, for example, here's the example. I'm in Vegas, and I mean, Vegas seems to be, you know, adopting everything that California does. And I know that this is gonna come our way. Like, everybody was watching New York with these vaccine passport things. California's trying to push this, and I know eventually it's going to trickle down to me, and I'm going to end up probably just running to Florida. And here's the problem. We can't all just run to Florida. We can't all just run to Texas, you know? I mean, we got to stay where we are and fight for what, you know, the right thing. And the problem that we're having here is that there's a thing called No Mask Nevada or something here. And these people, for example, they'll protest like in some corner at some Walgreens when the governor is completely somewhere else. You know what I mean? Instead of protesting in front of his house or doing things that actually are in their face that annoy them or bother them, or whatever, because that's what gets something done at least. But otherwise, we're just running in circles talking about the same things, but no one actually does anything. I walk into places, I don't wear a mask. And people actually don't bother me. I walk in and nobody's really enforcing it anymore that much. but people aren't even willing to try. It's like you walk up to a door and you don't even turn the knob. You just assume it's locked. Why don't they even at least try?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this part. I'm gonna tell you this because people say that a lot. They say, just stay where you are, don't leave. Well, tell that to the Eastern Europeans that came over here during early 1900s, Ellis Island, that fled communism and stuff like that. That the Polish and the Germans and whatnot. Tell them that. So they need to go back to Europe. You understand what I'm saying? Like they left too. The Irish, they left too. The British originally, they left too. They declare a new independent nation. Oh, why run away? Why not? Sometimes you got to leave. Now, also the other side, they're leaving too. So, prime example, I was in Athens, Tennessee, for Juneteenth, giving a speaking engagement, and the man that brought us out there, he was talking about how there's a DSA, that's a Democratic Socialist of America office right there in Knoxville. They came from California. They're coming over here by the boatload to invade us because they know this is a conservative stronghold, so they want to take us over. So if we're not looking at what they're doing, we got to kind of operate like it can't just be this one-sided thing where they do everything to us and we don't want to do it because we feel like we're too good or we shouldn't be doing it. Sometimes you got to fight fire the proper way. You got to do things right, understand what's happening on the other side. So we got to maintain where we live at, maintain our strongholds. And if the other side are winning where we're at, we have to go to another stronghold and maintain it. Because if we don't maintain the strongholds, the other side will come in and take it over. So we got to think a little bit deeper than the surface.
Right, but what I'm saying is like the example that I used of the mask, like people just, as they're walking towards the door, they're already putting on the mask. That is just one random example, because I see it happen here all the time.
Now, is it because they have to, or is it because they're afraid?
Well, it's a combination of both. Here there's a mandate, right? But no one is willing to even attempt to walk into a store without a mask and see what happens, because most of the time, like if they see you that you don't even have it hanging in your ear or anything, you just don't even have it present. Because if you have it hanging in your ear, you have it down, then it's very easy to say, well, you had the intention of wearing it, so hey, put it up. And so then you'll wear it, right? But if you don't even have it present, like I don't even have it anywhere near me, I walk in, they just look at me and they leave me alone. They just say, you know what, we don't really want to bother, it might start a problem or whatever, so leave you alone. But no one else is willing to do it, right? So if more people did it, this would come to an end. I mean, this would come to an end because if everybody does it, then there's no way to enforce this. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Arrest everybody? What are you going to do? Call the cops?
I understand. I mean, what you're saying is right. And I think that particular issue, going about it that way, that makes sense. But I think as far as some of the bigger issues that cause all the smaller issues, we got to think about it in a much deeper way to really get down to the bottom of it. But hey, I got a few more calls in line. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, Adele, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is a really deep thing here because, we can't be afraid to just, if you're living in California, the left have pretty much taken it. They've taken it. So you have to go to where it's free. It's like, all right, you're in Nazi Germany and they're telling you to put the star on your chest. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to stay and stick it out. I'm going to see how this goes. You might need to go somewhere else. You might need to flee. I'm just saying, because at that point, it's too late. But I digress. $215 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Adrian. How's it going?
Everything's all right. About yourself?
Good. I had to turn the speaker. Down. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
All right, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Are you well?
All right. Well, about what's going on in Afghanistan, I've seen all the videos where they literally just took. It's just insanity how they took all the military weapons and whatnot, and just they took all the military weapons, and they're actually wearing their tactical uniforms, helmets, night vision goggles. Just you name it, it's like they got it. Just the fact that the military actually pulled out in the middle of the night. What general thought this was a good idea to do that? in the middle of the night. I'm still baffled by that. I'm still bothered by that. That a general actually thought it'd be a good idea to pull out in the middle of the night and just leave everything.
I still hear noise in the background. Do you have anything on in the background? Any speakers?
Hold on. All right, do you hear any noise?
I think I'm good now. But yeah, what you were saying about the generals, I mean, it does make sense because, huh?
Go ahead. No,
okay.
go ahead.
All right. What you were saying does make sense. I think that there was no actual plan there. They just were kind of doing stuff just to be doing it. It didn't. There was no plan of escape or exit. It just left.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because the fact that what I'm witnessing over in Afghanistan, you got people who barely could even get out, and the Taliban are taking over the airport. And the fact that back to what the other caller said about Cori Bush, yeah, some definitely not. I'm not, like you said, I agree with you about what you said. Don't protest outside the house. I mean, we should definitely protest that, do something about that.
I mean, I'm not saying don't protest. I'm just saying, what is that going to actually accomplish? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to get from that? If you go to the governor's house and protest, okay, great. What did you accomplish?
Yeah, well, we definitely hold her accountable somehow. Keep track of everything she just said, like what they did, like what they did a while ago when they tried to impeach Trump, and they have evidence from all last year of the Democrats just inciting violence from all the years. We should keep on doing stuff like that. Keep just holding evidence of everything they said, especially when it's on video. Just keep tabs on everything they said. So when something comes down to it, then it's like, okay, well, are we going to vote for these people again, or just vote them out of office so that way they can't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's basically my thought. And one thing I've heard about Black Lives Matter, they support Islamic terrorists. I'm not surprised. Nothing surprising me with BLM anymore. I knew from years ago they were never for black people anyway. Like when I first seen them in 2016, I said, okay, what are these guys actually going to accomplish by holding up traffic and just saying Black Lives Matter? But all I see is black people killing other black people. And I was saying this back in 2016. I said, well, if they're not stopping the crime rate, then what is the actual real issue? That's the exact thing I was thinking to myself back in 2016. It's like, what are you guys actually going to accomplish?
Yeah, I think that BLM is more. It's weird because BLM is more of an LGBT organization, but at the same time, they don't mind supporting Islam if it benefits them. But at the same time, Islam is inherently anti-LGBT, so I don't know how those two things mix together. But they figure out a way to make it make sense on their end. But if they go to Afghanistan with that stuff, it's not going to work out too well for them.
Yeah, and one more thing I would like to say is I've noticed that a lot of the stuff they push over here. I've seen the one video. A lot of the LGBTQ stuff they push over. I've noticed that they'll never take it to the Middle Eastern countries ever because they won't tolerate that stuff, and they'll kill people for that kind of stuff, for supporting that kind of ideology.
That's right, 100%.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the Middle Eastern culture. We really can't change them, honestly, because they are that's just how their culture is. Like how they're saying most of the men just abandoned the women and kids, and they were all out in the tarmac, the first on the plane and whatnot.
Right? Yeah, that was pretty crazy, but that's a culture over there.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that's their culture. It's the fact that the United States would even try to establish a new state, establish a new society over there, especially when the people don't really want it. Most of the people, I heard that they'll write you out to the Taliban.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. But I don't want to take it any more time.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, have a good one, ABL.
Same to you. All right, good call, good call. And voting does matter, Royal Cap, and I disagree with you on that. I think voting does matter. But if you got some funny business going on, you got to be able to fix the funny business. Understand that the people that run this are just people. It's not like some kind of invisible hand that you can't that can remain untouched. There's a way to have people be held accountable for doing the incorrect thing. So voting does matter. Let's not put that out there, because if voting doesn't matter, then why are you here? Why even be worried about politics? All right, let's get to some more here. 602, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, awesome. 56 calls later and I got you. I'll turn you down in the background. Hey, ABL, how you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
Good, good. I was just listening to everybody and stuff, and I think it is weird that the same people who are in office now, who are backing, Hillary being the Senate and stuff like that, and Benghazi happened under her, and the whole thing with the Taliban now, if the money actually went to them and weapons and all that, I mean, you could see who's doing it. But the other crazy thing is that the law isn't being applied to them, even with the new Supreme Court we have. It's just like, who's controlling the law, and when are these people going to be held accountable? You ever wonder that?
Now, as far as who specifically needs to be held accountable?
Hillary, because she was actually on trial. I would say, Governor Cuomo for all, and this is the crazy thing. They get into scandals like, sextings and stuff, or conspiracies with, I don't know if you've ever heard of Pizzagate, but those things will get more exaggerated than, Benghazi or the nursing homes. And those are like kind of, I would consider crimes against the American people and, soldiers and stuff. So isn't that weird?
Yeah, I think a lot of those people, it's kind of like this class. It's kind of like untouchable political class. And it's really unfortunate that it's that way, but that's kind of what we have kind of devolved into, is a place where that's a thing. They have different classes, right, for just regular everyday people, and then for the political elite.
Do you think this is a battle of influence through like money, or is it like, because I know people are probably, I mean, look at how many people just end up kind of offing themselves or something when these trials come up,
Well, money is not necessarily it. It's about control. It's about influence. I mean, money is part of it, but it's just about the political control and influence people have over certain institutions. That's what it is. And because a lot of times it's like blackmail. Somebody may have something on somebody, so then they don't want to go against that person because they fear that their career could be ruined or their life could be ruined. And sometimes if some mafia type stuff going on, they fear for their life if they do something incorrectly.
Have you ever heard of Dinesh D'Souza?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen any of his movies or read his books?
I've seen all the movies in the theater.
Okay. Now those things that you learn about Hillary Clinton, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but it's criminal, like deep criminal kind of stuff. And the people who are teaching her and the people that you learn about, and the ties that, like, I don't know if I should say this, but the ties that, old Germans had to the Democrats at that time, and like the laws they were using, like you would think that these things would be brought up like in court in some way, but it's like, I don't know, it's just interesting. And then for Dinesh to be who he is, being so deep in the Reagan presidency and stuff like that, it's just interesting that nobody really listens to him, especially because he was prosecuted for like minor crimes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The laws applied like real harshly to him, and he's an immigrant and stuff like that. And then the last thing is all this stuff with COVID. You see how they are pushing lies and stuff, and then you guys are all on YouTube and Rumble, different places. And I tell people all the time, you guys don't see that there's, like, going back to the German stuff, oppression going on in a way that you guys, okay, in their standard, this would be like, what they're talking about. Oh, it's hateful and all that, because you see it's Zuckerberg, and I don't know if you want me to name drop people, but things like that. And then I don't know if it's real that he stole the idea from an Indian person or something like that.
Well, for Facebook?
Yes.
I don't know anything about that, but, I won't be surprised if there was
Neither.
something going on. I won't be surprised.
Right. But, yeah, just like things like that. And I heard somebody say earlier, the guy who invented the email, my dad actually introduced me to him. And even for them to be stripping information that should make people healthier and stuff like that is also criminal, and even in small ways. They don't have to send these people to jail, but, find the company, have them pay for, any damage that might have been done. And new law, the, Constitution works on all platforms if you're working within,
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for taking it. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Good call. And the phone lines are still jumping. I'm going to try to get everybody on. If I can't, don't blame me. Blame the white man. It's not my fault. And the number to call, 434-658-1220. 563 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
KKC.
All right. What's going on?
Yeah, just looking to get on with ABL.
You're live right now. This is me speaking.
Oh, wow. Okay, sick. Hey, just wanted to say that love your content. You keep it real and you speak the truth, so keep doing you, and we'll keep watching. So my question is, mutations exist with COVID, just like the normal flu. Flu vaccines target the government, or target what government and health professionals believe will be the prevalent strains when the flu season hits. COVID isn't any different. It's a virus. It'll mature and it will evolve. COVID is here to stay, whether we like it or not. The lockdowns, they don't help. Democratic-run states' policies failed catastrophically. They've destroyed the economy, ballooned the debt. The Fed is printing money like it grows on trees, all while expecting taxpayers in other states to foot the bill for Democratic states' failed policies. Inflation is at record highs, and with monetary mismanagement from the left, no doubt, this is just the start. History has shown that empires die due to financial mismanagement and their economic collapse. How in the heck do we recover, or worse, survive these tyrannical policies and self-inflicted wounds when half the country appears to support this idiocy? How do we combat the coordinated lies from the left, the deep state, and the mainstream media? While it may seem like a conspiracy theory, this virus, the lockdowns, the mutations, the questionable elections, Biden as a Trojan horse for Kamala. What the heck do we do?
Well, that's a lot. That's a really deep question that I'm not really sure I'm able to answer. But I think that it's gonna take a lot. I think that it's going to have to get really rough for people in America, because the way it is now, people support this stuff because they've not really seen true misery. They've not really seen that in their lifetime. People think that, oh, I lived in a bad neighborhood and all this and that, but they had running water and food and everything for the most part. Now, if they don't have that, then it's like, okay, now we got to do something. I'm not sure if it'd be too late by that particular point if things get that bad. But I think that there's going to be a turning point where people say, all right, this has gotten to be too far. I'm going to go a different direction. I just don't know what that point would actually be. I don't know what the rock bottom would be for people, but I think at a certain point that has to happen, because if it doesn't, then it's not going to look too good for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2008, the financial collapse there really caused a lot of younger folks that haven't experienced other things, in their lifetime, kind of brought about the whole BLM movement in some sort of way, and this whole socialist push from the left. And so I don't know what or how to even rectify something like this. I mean, we're at this point, it almost looks like we're going to be running into like the Great Depression at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure it'd be that way, because really the financial crisis wasn't even that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like it didn't just destroy the entire country. I don't think we're going to get to that particular point, because also the thing about the United States is that we're very important to the world at this point, and the way the world works. If we go down, then a lot of the world goes down. They're trying to shore themselves up to make sure that they can survive on their own without us. They're trying to have little partnerships between Iran and China and Russia. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the U.S. makes the world go round the way it is now. So I don't think we're going to get to the point where it's all hope is lost and it's just doom.
Well, I mean, China's pretty strong right now. I mean, they held all of our manufacturing, at least from the technological standpoint, but they've been making inroads in Africa, donating and providing them with money to build up. And I just don't know how.
But see, the thing about it is, if they
play
can't
out at this point,
if they can't sell to us, then what do they have? If they don't have the American consumer, then what do they have? They can't do all this Belt and Road stuff without us. It's all interdependent at this particular point. Unfortunately, really, because everyone needs everyone. If we go down, who are they going to sell all these iPhones to for $1,000? Africans?
Well, what if they go and cut off, all trade to the United States? I mean, we
are they going to do? Are they going to do? If they want?
I mean, yeah.
If they do that,
if
they do that, they kill themselves. So they don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, hey, I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to waste your time, so I appreciate the call, and keep doing you. Thanks, man.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about it, because if China says, you know what, no more trade to the U.S., okay, cool. Well, them 1 million jobs at Foxconn making iPhones, what's going to happen with that? I mean, what are you going to sell it to? What, UK, France? That's it? Is that going to be enough? UK, France, Germany? Come on, you got to just. All right, let's go. 773 and online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill.
What's going on?
Well, I got kind of one question to kind of ask you is, how come you keep pulling a Kamala Harris on us whenever Trump does a rally?
What you talking about?
Well, so far, whenever Trump does a rally on Saturday, you seem to be kind of missing on his speeches a bit to know what he's talking about.
I mean, hey, there's ways you can watch that. You don't have to watch it here.
I know. No, I just watch it myself. I'm just asking. That's because you seem to kind of miss him sometimes. That's all.
Oh no, it's all good.
Okay, so it was pretty much, that was a little bit of a joke, but in all seriousness, do you think that a lot of people should be protesting in D.C. against this whole Afghanistan situation, because it's a big insult to not only our military is currently serving, but also the veterans in past.
Say that one more time for me.
I strongly think that a lot of our military veterans who fought in these wars should be protesting in D.C. to express their own anger and frustration at the Biden show for its failure, because what they did is a big insult to them.
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that, but I think the way it is now, they can protest all they want to, but your man Joe Biden's at home in Delaware just eating some tapioca pudding, having a nice little nap. He's not even really worried about it. And then really, he's probably like, "Look, I'm about to be done anyway. Like I'm on my last, I'm on the last day anyway. So I'm gonna just go ahead and you could protest all you want to, but I'm out." And then they bring in somebody else to do the same thing.
Okay, well, the moment it started, the whole Afghan situation fell, so there was already Afghan Americans protesting in D.C. Check the story out from the Gateway Pundit, because I actually saw the video when it was happening. And there's one interesting article and image from the Gateway Pundit that I think you and your audience to take a look at. And disclaimer warning, aka trigger warning, to any military veteran serving or has any family members. Taliban, the moment when the whole thing fell, actually recreated the whole flag raising over Iwo Jima, mocking us. Yeah, take a look at it. Look at it and you see for yourself.
Right on.
Okay, well, there was a whole bunch of other things I wanted to talk to you before this whole situation even happened about, but I'll be happy to kind of call in some other time, and really wish that when you do finally see the Trump speech that you can give your own 2 cents about it, please.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
Okay, have a good evening.
All right, now, same to you. All right, shout out to my man for the call. Appreciate y'all. You guys are the best audience on the internet, so just so you know, the best audience, best callers, best everything. I appreciate y'all for what you do. Couldn't do it without y'all. All right. I see you, Modern Renaissance, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming through the chat. I appreciate you, as always. All right, Nico, what's going on? Nico.
Oh, hi, Anthony. How are you?
Everything's good about yourself?
Same old work, I guess. But I just want to say something. Out here in California, have you ever heard of this teacher? I think it's here in California. Have you heard about this teacher this parent that punched a teacher in the face over a mask mandate?
Yikes. No, I've not heard that one.
Yeah, he noticed that when he heard about the mask mandates being enforced in schools and he saw his daughter wearing one, he got into a dispute with the teacher over it, and it kind of escalated so quickly that he punched the teacher in the face, and the teacher it resulted in the teacher going to the ER.
Wow. Crazy.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure this is probably going to happen all over the place. Even where these school boards where some of the parents are kind of like jumping up on stage and like pointing fingers literally at the people at the school boards.
Yeah. It's a real issue. People are tired of all of what's going on.
Yeah. And also, I kind of want to say, with Larry Elder, I noticed that there's actually a lot of signs. There's a lot of Larry Elder support out here. But yet I noticed that, have you ever heard about this ballot? This ballot where you slip it in the envelope, and then all of a sudden you slip in the envelope, and then all of a sudden you see the holes, whether or not you vote for Larry Elder or not.
Yeah, someone said that earlier in the show. They were talking about how you could see it from the outside, right?
Mm-hmm. And not only this, but there's also one where you could print your own ballot now. If you have COVID, if you have health problems, you can conveniently print your ballot at home. Have you heard about that?
I've not heard that one.
Yeah. So they're saying that if you're sick, you could print your ballot safely from home.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And so I'm just thinking, there's a lot of support with Larry Elder coming in, but then again, I'm not really sure I'm just kind of not sure if it's going to be an uphill battle solely because of, the Dems playing up their dirty tricks out here and there.
Right.
All right. So, and also there's probably one more thing because I'm getting probably a headache here. There's this one with the Afghan situation happening, and then all of a sudden I'm pretty sure that with the Democrats jumping ship and turning on to each other one by one, I am pretty sure that it's probably going to send a huge shockwave through the establishments right now, and therefore I don't really think that they're going to win the election, because and a crazier thing is I remember what's his name? Joe Scarborough. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
And they said that that the Dems are on the road to lose in 2020 because they said that the Dems are not going to protect us on the streets. The Dems are not going to protect us in foreign countries. So this is probably going to give Republicans an advantage.
Oh
He
yeah,
outright said that.
I mean, but what he said is right, because this has been a disaster as far as the whole Afghanistan thing. There's been quite a few things. Like, he's not done very well. Speaking about Joe, speaking about the entire administration, they've not done very well. So yeah, I think he's right about that.
All right. I know, Anthony. I mean, I just want to say thanks for taking the call here, but I'm just going to end it here because I'm having a really bad headache.
All right, man.
Just all of a sudden.
Take care of yourself, man. Thank you for the call.
All right.
All right. Shout out to my man Nico for the call as always. I got one more call, then I got to go. 808, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi, Anthony. A former Army soldier. Don't want to put my name out there, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
But, let's go back to Afghanistan, if I can change the subject. And my feelings, I served a year in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, and we've left a lot of billions of dollars of equipment in Afghanistan. And we have a lot of contractors. Many, I worked with a lot of them there. And I worked with a lot of great guys. A lot of them have come over to America. Some of them, they're still there. And I'm not very confident that under the presidency of Biden, they're going to get them all out. And Jen Psaki, or Psaki, whatever her name is didn't give us an exact answer as far as the guarantee that all American citizens and our contractors and people that supported us in Afghanistan are going to get out. What are your views about that?
I think they don't have a plan, so they don't really know. They can say, well, we'll get everybody out. It won't be a problem. But that's not backed by reality, in my opinion. That's just something they can say for the press, but it's just not a real thing. And then you're hearing conflicting reports. I don't think they really have a plan. They're just saying whatever they can say to do damage control.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you totally, sir. I think they're just flying on a wing. There's no plan. There never was a plan. Trump did have a plan. And, I was in the military. I don't know if you were, but strategic withdrawal, getting our equipment out, covering our bases, covering our six to withdraw. And even though that takes months on end, okay, but Biden, for some reason, wanted to make that 9/11 withdrawal to make him look glorious, was just a complete, chaotic. I don't know why he had to do that. You don't withdraw troops out before civilians. If you agree with me, sir.
I agree 100%, because it just doesn't make any sense, because you have to get civilians out. There are Americans there. There are reporters. There are Afghans that you promised that you would take care of, who helped in the war effort, translators or whatever. So you have to get them out first, and you need the military there to do it. So it doesn't make sense to just abandon the country middle of the night. And then after that, when the fallout happens, when the Taliban just swoop in, then you say, oh, okay, now we're going to figure out how to evacuate everyone. That's a backward way of doing things.
I totally agree with you, sir. And I drew down at 2012. I was there in 2012, 11/12, when we were doing a drawdown my unit. And it took us weeks for the unit to replace us. And it was Bob Lindsay, right outside of Kandahar. And it took us weeks to replace, establish, perimeters, establish defenses to take soldiers out, our soldiers out, and put soldiers in. So any soldier that's ever served in Afghanistan would understand, from the private to a general, would know that you cannot just pull soldiers out. It's just asinine.
Exactly. 100%.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. Nice talking to you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Great call. And thank y'all again for being here. Couldn't do it without y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. But that'll be a wrap for the live show. I'll be back again live on Wednesday, of course, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I promise, no more nap before the show, so I don't get to the show late. I might be like 1 minute late as usual. But anyway, thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you heard so far, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This will be available as an audio-only podcast on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just search ABL Live on your favorite audio streaming platform. I should pop right on up. Shout out to all my sponsors. I forgot to do that at the beginning, but shout out to all my sponsors. Of course, shout out to my websites, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. All original articles with everything sourced, so nobody can call me a liar. Call me whatever you want, but don't call me a liar, because you'd be lying yourself if you did that. I don't lie. Everything's sourced. Also, ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, mugs, and more. That's in the box. Also, BHEdesigns.com. That is BHEdesigns.com for these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me, or one of your own, custom made, large, small, in between, whatever you want, they got it. And Mr1920.com. That is Mr1920.com for your original handmade American soaps. That's right, soaps. Link for that will be in the box. And of course, patriotpost.us, your source of news and information. Go there. They're trusted, been around 25 years. Some of the OGs on the nets still around, local in Tennessee. Really good guys that run it. I met them. I know them. They're great. Patriotpost.us. All right. Is that everybody? I think all my sponsors out the way. Shout out to everybody that's been watching tonight. Shout out to all the super chatters, the commenters, the subscribers, the sharers. Shout out to everybody that called in. I thank y'all for doing what you do. Couldn't do it without y'all. And I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on the top. And let's go to, all right, let me go back to where I was. Okay. I think it's Cold Haterade. I think that's where I left off, who says, everybody I know who's a worthless commie got the shot. I don't know about you, but these people are making themselves extinct. I read that one. Yeah, I did read that one. Okay. Jericho, I read that one too. Shout out to you again, Jericho Green. Thank you. Jerry J says, the shot only provides a shield for a few months. It will not give you any natural antibodies, so you need to get another vaccinary time. Trishana says, did you see that video that went viral with this doctor named Sean Brooks? It's very scary. I've not seen that, but I'm going to check it out. Matter of fact, I think I did see like a thumbnail of that, but I didn't watch it yet. So I know kind of what to look for. One of you guys sent it to me already. I just not watched it yet. I just didn't have the time to watch it. But I will be watching for sure. Shout out to Andy, the Gypsy, for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you. First time joining. Shout out to Family 53511, who says, ABL, please join Joel Davis Media Network as a guest, Latin Patriot. Thank you to Ambrose Tees, a 10-month member. Thank you for that. Who says, keep on keeping on, my brother. Lord bless you all. Thank you. Shout out to Yes Sir for the angry face emoji. Not sure what the context is, but it's fine. Shout out to Jerry J, who says the only way to get out of this is defenestration. The only country that did that is my country, but you are too soft. Well, have fun over there in your country. Have fun over there. Shout out to Tyrannius, who says Buttigieg would be a disaster for VP. Hey, the whole administration the whole Biden camp has been a disaster. So why not add a log in the campfire? You understand? Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, oh, I read that one. Thank you to David Reed for the heart emoji. Shout out to Vivian Fire, who says, I'm in Las Vegas too and don't wear a mask. Most places aren't saying anything this time around. We must collectively stop complying. I'm with you. Shout out to Royal Cavill, who says, audience needs to understand voting doesn't matter. I read that one already. I disagree with you on that. Thank you to Let's Go, who says, thank you for all you do, ABL. God bless America. Shout out to Andy, who says, pineapple on pizza or nah. Pineapple does go on pizza if it's prepared properly. If it's like roasted a little bit, yeah, we'll accept that. And matter of fact, if you just got done moving somebody's house and they order like 15 pizzas and they all got pineapple on it, are you just going to be like, well, I'm not going to eat that? If you get the pineapple and ham, like ham, not necessarily sausage, but sausage too. Get some of that ham with the pineapple, sauce, pepperoni. You in there like swimwear, but I'll move on. Jerry J says at some point the last free country will be Russia. I hope I won't see that. Is Russia free? I'm not sure. But thank you for that. Shout out to Giselle Luke, who says, gotta drop a dime on my man ABL. I appreciate that. Thank you to Frank Dest, who says the United States is openly working with the Taliban. What does that mean, Geritol Joe? Give her fighter jets in exchange for U.S. citizens. New Carter. Big facts. Thank you to James Lindbergh, who says there's 46 candidates on the California recall ballot. Trump needs to endorse Elder ASAP. I agree. And thank you to Derek Staroba for the thank you emoji. I appreciate you for that. All right, that'll be a wrap for me. So thank you for being here yet again. You guys are the best. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. And that's all I got. So, and shout out to the mods for doing what you do, of course. I couldn't do it without y'all either because keep them trolls, popping them like whack-a-mole. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.